Hello, everybody. If it's Friday night, then it must be time to play Soulbound. I will not normally be hosting this. Normally, that will be you will have the honor of viewing this over on Mr. Mephisto's channel. But unfortunately, Meph had a little technical trouble tonight, but that's okay. We got it back up. We're running, and now we're over here, and I am very excited. So I am now going to shut up. And by the way, if you want to sub up to Meph, the link will be in the description, so do go check that out. In the future, we will be over there. We're going to play some Soulbound. We've obviously got our cast of characters here, and I'm going to turn it over to our DM Meph, who will take it from here. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, dude. So we're actually going to be dropping the party right into the action because I like to start I actually like to start campaigns out usually on like an action scene. Literally an explosion oftentimes. But before we do that, we're going to set the stage with who our characters are and what they're doing. So we're just going to kind of go around the table, quote unquote, starting with my top left, which is actually Chuck. I'm going to be Vince, Haywo, and then down to Tom. So what you're going to be playing? If you want to give a little bit of a, little like premise, plus the character, what you look like, for everybody, that'd be swell. So Chuck, what are you playing? I think the helmet's misdirection, right? Like this is your.
Yeah, I'm playing a free guild general now. So I am playing a witch elf, as you can tell. Yes, I spent part of today making a nice witch elf crown, like getting character. But my character's name is Lanissa Bloodparch. She's an Axian native, born and raised. Thanks for the thumbs up there. So born and raised in Anvilgard. And she was a member of the Tyrathian cult, which, go figure, I have to force my narrative into everything I do. So she set off, essentially, and joined up with this group to be soulbound in search of a shard of Cain to bring it back to Tyrathi in order to, gain some influence, gain some power, and accomplish a couple goals she has there. But as far as looks, nothing too outlandish. Long blonde hair, typical witch elf fashion. Can't really go too outside of the norm on that. But she is much more into the, performance version of it. So maybe a little bit more delicate on her feet, a little bit more dancey.
Like very much like a dervish style, like sort of vibe.
Yes. And that's all you get right now.
And so you get. Are you brandishing a classic pair of daggers? Do you have a dagger and a whip? What's going?
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, it's a pair of daggers. It's always gonna be a pair of daggers. I mean, why would I? I could take a shield and be the group's tank, but I don't think it would go over that well.
Don't you have a third dagger on your hip that is rarely unsheathed?
I'll unsheath it. It's not for stabby. I have two daggers for stabby, one dagger for not stabby.
Right.
It's a religious instrument.
Well,
sorts.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Throwing it out.
I store all my
blood.
No. Well, blood's everywhere. I just put that everywhere. But what's it? Aqua Garanis. Just so you know, I do put that in my bra.
Okay.
So my money is in my bra. Just so you know.
Yeah, the aqua, and I thought it was going to be the hair. Like you have the big '80s, like David Bowie labyrinth hair, and just like up in the hair.
You don't touch the hair. I get that perfect, and you just you don't touch it anymore. That's how it works. You got to respect it.
Got to respect the hair. All right, Vince, what are you gonna be playing tonight?
So my character is Skig, and Skig is a Skaven. Skig was a former Stormvermin, who had a religious experience. He was touched by Sigmar. He saw the light. Literally, he was visited by our great and beneficent God King, who came to him in a vision. Visitation from the comet itself. A mighty light shone down from Aesir upon him, and he did see the truth, the light, and the way. He immediately then saved the people he was with, killing the other Skaven who were guards with him, and led the people to freedom and safety. He has been tasked with a holy mission to protect Sigmar's humans, which he will happily do. And as he's begun to travel in human lands, he's learned that humans are very strange and that they're all extremely wealthy. Every single one of them. He's mystified by the opulence in which they live, where they have multiple bowls of gruel per day. Most of them own buildings they live in. Even the lowest of them seem to sleep no more than 6 to 10 in a building, which is madness. The level of wealth that these humans have is hard for Skig to wrap his head around. But he's trying his best to be helpful everywhere he can, even though he doesn't really understand human culture.
Right on, right on. Hey, Wo, what are you playing tonight?
Well, like Chuck, I too am breaking from tradition, and I'm playing a Beastclaw Ogre. He's an Icebrow Hunter. He's 10'10", with gray-blue skin with big red tattoos of maws and teeth, made up like snow-capped mountains. Their tattoo artist Huskard drew them, who fancies himself a high artist, who named himself Humongous Rembrandt, does all of our art and tattoos. The character's name is Fjormar Bigwinter, and that says almost everything you need to know about him. He was part of the Alfrestun from the story in the Malign Portents that got hoodwinked into going into Shyish and trying to kill Nagash to break the curse of the Everwinter. And he was a bit recalcitrant on the scouting missions and got quote-unquote punished, having to stay back and guard their six to stop ambushes so that he could watch them win and learn how might makes right. And then they got completely destroyed to a man and then resurrected under Nagash's control and sent off as an army. And so he watched his tribe destroyed and sent off and said, okay. And turned around and left. And
Go ahead. No, finish.
Oh, yeah. Since then, him and his animal companion, a blood vulture, have traveled the lands, hunting and eating, and ended up to human lands. And got Soulbound, which is what the game is called, which has pacified the Everwinter chasing after him a bit, which he's found to be nice. What he hasn't found to be nice is how hungry he is all the time, and he really needs to hunt and capture food with the quickness. Otherwise, all of these humans, dwarves and elves walking around, look more and more tasty, and that really wouldn't do for his delicate situation. So,
we missed a description on Skig, I believe, Vince.
What do I look like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm 5'10", pure white fur. I have horns unusually, which is normally a gray seer trait, but I have horns. And I'm in like fairly decent armor. I have my storm vermin armor still, shield and a pick against storm vermin weapons, and I wear a holy symbol of Sigmar around on my backpack, and have a sacred book of Sigmar's teachings that I've rewritten. Warning: sacred teachings of Sigmar that I've rewritten may not be exactly accurate.
Unique sacred teachings do not steal. Yeah,
exactly.
Fantastic. And then Tom.
Sure. So I am I'm Fear Grim, Grim Haraz of the of Barak Zar, which is my Fire Slayer. I'm true to form like everyone else here, playing somebody from one of my armies. So my Fire Slayer KO hybrid people, my lodge. And he trained as a battlesmith, so he's true. He's a traditionalist amongst the Fire Slayer of the Fire Slayer breed. He's not one of the young upstarts. He trained as a battlesmith. He's a lore keeper, and in amongst the market of Barak Thringi under a rune lord, he actually began to find that the dwarven people's stories rhymed. And that was something that deeply, deeply intrigued him. And so he actually sought out rune magic from this rune lord, dispossessed rune lord, and sought to dig into the deep holes. He didn't feel like searching in their own deep holes or even recovering their homeland was going to find this of like the truths of their people. And so he set off into the mortal realms. He looks very, very, very like a Fire Slayer. Bam, Fire Slayer.
Bam. Maximum Fire Slayer.
Just maximum Fire Slayer. That's right here.
Yeah.
And so he set off out into the mortal realms. and he was out. He adventured for a number of decades. And what ended up happening was actually he became soulbound to another party, which ended in tragedy. And he was ended up being rebound to another group. He was actually in fact unconscious in the midst of this rebinding that took place, and found himself in the midst of this mess of a party.
Ragtag would be a like
just
probably
yes, there was trauma that happened, and he doesn't know what all happened. And in the unbinding and rebinding, he actually, like, some of his own memories, much like the reforging of Stormcast, his own memories, some of them slipped away of his past companions, and so now he's been with this group 3 months on, and he's trying to make do with life.
Yeah. And they were all bound by you. I don't believe y'all will meet her directly this adventure, but her name is she's essentially she is the best description would be a rogue Stormcast. She fully is on the side of Sigmar, believes in Sigmar's teachings and so things, but her methods are unorthodox, and she's become a little bit of like an outcast amongst the orders of the like orders of Sigmar. Now she presents herself as like almost like a more along the lines of like a vanguard hunter with like capes and like a crossbow and stuff like that. But the party knows directly that she knows some magic.
Mm-hmm.
So she maybe it's the like she kind of lives a bit of a life on the lam, always kind of out, and she's picked up this like vanguard-esque quality to her. But so Oriah Runeheart was who bound you, and she plays by her own rules.
Apparently,
a good-looking rogue who plays by her own rules.
Yeah.
She better be careful. She's gonna
uh,
have to turn in her staff and her sword. So
she's had to do it a couple times.
Yep.
And it's a crossbow and a staff. Thank you.
Sure.
Oriah Runeheart. You haven't been in direct contact with her for a little bit. She doesn't seem to be an Anvil guard, but she performed the binding to save your life, Feargrim, to help ease the Everwinter, to help you on your quest, and that term, I guess that goes for both Skig and Lanessa. But the party currently finds themselves in a little bit of a cavern on the outskirts of Anvilgard, just beyond some of the farmland. It's you're in the employ currently, as you recall. You're sort of in like a dank room. The object you were sent on is just ahead of you on a pedestal. It seems to be some sort of a small mahogany chest, a mahogany-colored chest, because maybe mahogany doesn't exist in this world, but some small mahogany-colored chests, about yay high and yay wide, exactly as Cassidy described it, the person who the trade pioneer who employed you to go find this. So the party being, I'm just going to stick with Ragtag. The party being unique has caused them to have to try to work a little extra harder to earn the respect and trust of the local townsfolk. You have been on a number of quests, and you happen to find yourself on the latest fetch quest, which is for Cassidy Polnir, a human trade pioneer back in Anvilgard. You're not quite certain what it was. He described the chest, said go get it, and it would help a great many people if you did this. And you've been, as a party, sort of collectively questioning just exactly how much this will help anybody delving a dungeon to get one stupid box. And yet here you are in the middle of a dank, sort of dusty tomb that hasn't been kept in a while. You're not... Any descriptions as to who may have been buried here is like long since lost to like time in the elements. You just followed the directions to the weird pointed hill, sort of northeasterly, and here you are in the middle of it. You've already traversed the traps. You've already traversed the traps. You've already sort of killed a couple like ambient undeadlings that were just kind of left around, and there it is, finally, the object of your quest. This box sitting on a pedestal in the middle of a circular room. It is gray. The stone is unremarkable. I wouldn't say it's suspicious, but it's weird. Why is this box here? It's just in here. There's a single like hole in the ceiling. You can see the sunlight outside of midday piercing in a single sort of sheet that kind of cuts the room in half.
Very Raiders of the Lost Arkish. That's what I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is definitely a trap. No doubt.
Thank Kane. This was an easy one. Let's just go get it and go.
You know what? I think you're both right.
Okay, who's gonna get
The
boxed
silent
in?
ogre speaks.
And then I wait for her to go get it.
I walk up to the box.
I scoot behind the ogre.
I would like to pick up this unremarkable box on this unremarkable stone pedestal in this dazzling sunlight.
Right.
I will let them proceed. I will let the elf do this thing. Yep. Seems about right.
All
I
right.
prepare to attack after the trap kills her.
So
I'm,
you're just gonna
thinking of what I shout when she dies.
Preparing for my death.
All right. So you just scoop up the box.
I scoop up the box.
Okay, it's roughly the size of a football, except cubular rather than oblong. You just like pick it up, and everyone in the entire room, you hear like a little bit of like a creaking and a craning of like the room above you.
Yeah,
And
that was a mistake.
And then just nothing.
I toss the box towards the dwarf.
I catch it, and then look towards the room entrance.
All right. You turn. You turn to exit, and pick out two like red beady eyes right in your path. Meanwhile, the entire room just sort of echoes with this clink as a dagger bounces off of the gut plate of the ogre, and you suddenly find yourself surrounded by some, you know what grots are, by about half a dozen grots that you hadn't noticed sneaking into the room.
Oh, this will be fun.
Bit more fun.
Roll for initiative. The ogre doesn't even it just hits the armor and he just kind of looks to the side and his whole body swivels after his head, you know.
Goblins. Okay.
So we're going to be using, for those of you at home, we're going to be using what's called dynamic initiative. It is an optional rule. We're using the D6 version. You can use 2D6, so your fixed initiative score plus a D6.
Lanisha has a 6.
Okay. Yeah, just drop them on me whenever. It's fine. There's only 4 of you.
The gobos will go at 4.
Okay. Feargrim
6 as well.
and Fjormar.
6.
Okay.
This is easy. Your job is easy, Vince.
it's very simple.
Players determine ties. If you tie with each other.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't mind if I do. I'll rush ahead.
That's fine. You're not on first. Why don't you slow your roll there, homeboy? Skaven are first to fight, my friend. Or, in this case, first to not fight. Okay, so...
So, you found yourself surrounded, perhaps lured in by the promise of a trap or the notion that this was too easy. You managed to overlook the goblins just kind of perfectly sneaking around the sort of circular room in all directions to have you surrounded. And then meanwhile, you have this pair of red eyes, slightly larger and slightly higher up than the grots, kind of blocking the passageway. It hasn't yet revealed itself. Okay,
so there is something big with red eyes in the tunnel, and how many?
5 grots in total surrounding you.
Okay, got it. So I'm currently behind the ogre, and the grots are around us, right? Like literally in a circle.
Right, they're kind of scattered about. in like no further than medium range.
That's fine. Are we all in the same zone with them at the moment?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So I would assume like this room is a zone and the hallway where the red thing is an adjacent zone, basically.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
correct.
Cool. My action then. So I'm first. I will take for my action. I will take the dodge action, as would be befitting, and I will step farther behind the ogre. Like I will attempt to make sure the ogre is in between me and the closest grots, and especially the big red eye thing. So that's what I'm trying to position here. And then my shield is on the other side of whatever he is.
Yeah, so you with the way the room's laid out and stuff, because it is like kind of circular, you'd have to expose yourself to a single grot to put the most distance between you, the rest of the grots, and the big red eyes.
That's fine. I have my shield facing toward that grot.
Perfect.
Okay. And as I like hug close to the ogre, I'm like, when did you last change these? And I pull on your pants, and that's my turn. Okay. So that brings us to our pack of sixes. I'm just gonna say that
I got a drill bill, so.
Oh, there you go.
You guys want some bonuses right away? I might do that first, if that's all right.
Fjormar's
I like
first.
bonuses.
No.
As the keeper of the initiative, I've decided Fjormar's first.
All right. I look at the dagger that the grot has thrown at me. Oh. Dinner has given me a utensil to eat him with. I look to my blood vulture. Why don't you pick a meal from this menu? And it goes off, and probably since it's just a creature, it probably chooses the biggest one.
Okay.
So the big red eye one has the step
Okay.
disadvantage, and that's my action.
Do you spend metal?
To go twice.
Yeah.
It's going to come back every round. Like if you spend your metal,
Every
you get
single round. I
Every
thought it was
single
every
round.
combat.
Every
I was
single
going
to save it.
round.
But I guess everyone just has action surge every single turn. So yes, I will spend metal. And then, okay, it selected a target. Let's go.
Yep.
We're running up.
All right,
It
so you're just
selected
gonna.
a target. I selected a target. The pike is going first, and I am shortly after.
Alright.
This will be my first time rolling any dice for this game. So this is... my melee ladder is great, and I have a pool of 6. How's its defense looking?
Are you attacking the huge?
I'm attacking the huge, which is the one that the blood vulture is harassing.
Okay. So you, as you sort of surge forth, that veil of sunlight, you just kind of like wiggle into the range of it. And you notice this mighty bulbous red, all teeth, sort of gaping maw in front of you with these two glowing.
I'm gonna eat you.
Glowing red eyes. And it is. It is good. So you're 2 steps up on the ladder, yeah?
I'm great.
He's 1 step up.
I'm one step above.
So that's what, 3s?
3s are successes.
Yep.
3s are successes. I have 6 dice, and I can add 2 to any number of them, totaling 2.
Correct. Yep. 1 and
Because
1
I
or a
have
single to
focus
2.
2.
Yep.
All right. And I'm looking for 3s. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. After my +2, so I got 4 successes. And do you care about natural 6s with these proc effects or not?
If you have like specific abilities like crushing blow or like they care about 6s, but there isn't like a generic exploding 6 type.
So one of my 6s is natural. One of mine was a 5 that I made a 6.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a 6. A 6 is
so
a 6.
I got 4 successes, and 2 of them are 6s, so I ignore 2 of its armor.
Okay.
And so the damage is 2 plus S, which is 4, so that's 6.
Okay, you rush up with this pike, and like it's just menacing you with its great maw, and you skewer all the way up inside. The pike comes out the back of its head, and I mean, you're already halfway towards having a feast at this point. The thing is not
Shish
moving.
kebab.
The red like glow in its eye like simmers out as you have spat it upon your great spear here.
I will keep it on the spear for this whole combat. You gotta send a message.
You'll find your melee combat reduced by dice pool reduced by 1 because this is difficult to do.
Completely worth it.
All right. Next up, who wishes to go?
Oh, that's me.
Alright.
Nope.
You-
I'm gonna rush
you-
forward.
You seem eager, the cowardly dwarf who would not pick up a box. Go ahead.
I'm gonna drop the box. Um,
Shade coming out immediately.
my sling shield coming off the shoulder, and I'm gonna begin talking about how I'm going to gather up their shrooms when they're all dead. As I advance forward, grumbling. I'm gonna use my metal to entertain.
Okay. So you roll the actual entertainment, and then based on the success, you pick
Yep.
one of your 3 things.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. And that is on. I don't know how this works. Awesome. 3. Oh. So I have 2 successes on this. My focus doesn't change anything. So everybody in the zone is going to get +2 to damage. So anybody that starts their turn in my zone will add +2 to their damage.
That's the party. You're all in the same
There you
zone.
go.
I'm liking
There you
these teamwork buffs we're getting. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Go
Sort
get
of like going last.
I like that somebody's got a hit buff and a damage buff within the party. I think that's pretty.
Yeah, and those 2 go before the witch elf. It seems like everything is everything in its right place here.
Oh yeah,
Indeed.
it's all coming together.
And so I'm gonna advance to the nearest clump of grots and start swinging away.
Okay. Yeah. You can like be literally like body to body with about 2 of them. It's
Sure.
really
I'm
congested.
gonna do that. And my defense against them is going to, or you don't need to know that. My melee is average, and it steps up because of not the drill bow. Nope. So just average. Let's
Okay.
do that.
They are poor, so you enjoy.
So is that a +1?
Yeah,
Plus
you're
that
1
one
over,
step?
so that is on 3s.
3s. Cool. Oh my gosh, all my dice just fell.
They're gone forever, man.
So I'm on 3s. My focus doesn't matter. So I have 3 successes. So there you go. I'm gonna splat one.
Oh
What is
yeah,
your actual
it's
damage? Is
wicked
it-
splatted.
Is your damage 0 + S, or what is it? We should just go through this and be clear. So people know what's happening.
My damage is 1 normally, so I did 6 damage.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. You splat this grot. What's your weapon? An axe, I assume.
It is a warhammer actually.
A warhammer.
Uh,
You bash its skull in.
I do that, and I also knock him down because I roll.
Like it's just you go full Gallagher. It's gone.
Had he lived, he would have been thoroughly knocked down.
Yeah, he would have, but he didn't. So
Okay.
His body like just kind of like goes full on like ragdoll physics and just like and just like tumbles, just like losing as if a puppet had its strings cut and it just like had some momentum forward and just like flops about and lands in an awkward crumpled origami position. You're up,
Linissa.
Linessa.
So let's see. I'm gonna use ambidexterity. I'm gonna add 6 more to my dice pool here.
No, it's
That's
just
fun.
1d6 in the pool.
no.
Oh,
You add
darn
one
it! I was like, that was
D6 to your
great.
dice. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so never mind.
When you attack, the total pool you make increases by d6.
That's still a really good bonus, though.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna try and take on 2 goblins. I'm gonna split my attacks.
Okay.
With 3 into 1, 3 into the other.
Okay.
What is my melee is? It's a 5, so it's good. So it's up to 6, so it's still good, correct? Currently,
Yes, you're
It's
still
those
you're
odds.
good, but they're poor, so you'd be
And-
hitting on 2s.
and 2s. All right. So for the first one, that's 3, 6, 3,
You just slash its throat.
and then 2 for the next one. 1's a 6.
You similarly slash its throat. So you just in this sort of like whirling dervish, sort of like tornado style attack, just dance between the two and just slash two throats with a flick of the wrists.
Yep.
Only but 2 grots remain.
I would like to use metal.
I mean,
Well, no, hang on. You finished an attack action, so roll your d6 real quick.
Is that turn or is that attack?
I think
That's
I said
attack.
that. Attack.
Whenever you two. Whenever.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Oh,
so
yeah.
D6. Grace. Nope, it's a 5. Nope.
Okay. So you use metal anyway.
So I use metal anyway. All right, first attack. That will be 3, with 1 being a 6.
and these are all
Attack.
at +2 damage, right?
Yeah, I'm 0 plus
Okay.
S, so yeah. And then 2 on the next one.
You sort of like do a nice little like sort of, you continue this twirling motion from the 2 that you just slashed and kind of whirl around the outer ring of the room and then just stick the other 2 in the back of the neck.
Fun. I give a little pirouette and I see a big winter. I think he's got the big guy. I won't use any more metal.
No, they're all that's it. That's it. That's it. They're
Oh
gone.
yeah,
Like,
he's
he's-
skewered on the pike dead.
Oh,
yeah.
he's dead. Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
And as you all
In
crowd
fact,
around,
I take a bite of the squig that's still on my pike, like a corn on the cob. Some trap.
I
Yeah,
will.
not as effective as I imagined.
I'll walk back over and pick up the box that was dropped.
it's about this time that you all find your memories cast back to meeting the sort of meager, rather elderly Cassidy Pulmere trade pioneer. And remember, there's usually a band of goblins that patrol that, or a band of grots that like to raid around those parts. Their leader's head is worth a small bit.
Oh.
And then like
I
You look
slowly
down at the
stop
bush.
eating.
Your eyes are suddenly drawn to the one whose head has been splattered by a hammer,
Oh, that
Ooh.
one. Okay.
and you see that he's much better dressed, and he's currently he's wielding he's actually wielding a real sword instead of just sharpened twist a barb of metal, you know.
He looked at me funny.
Did we get half for the body?
Can we just put these clothes on another goblin? I mean, they're goblins. They're grots.
I mean, he has a good point there. Do you want to undress one of these naked goblins and change his clothes?
I got the box. I'm sorry, guys. The hands are full.
Well, I was gonna put them in the pot anyway, so sure. Take out my barrel that I bought, just a miniature mop pot. Start putting them in. Some clothes might change bodies, but can't keep track.
I'm gonna ignore everything that's going on right now, and begin looking around at the stonework.
Okay.
That's down here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and I guess what are you looking for? Is this kind of a general scan, or are you trying to go in depth
Yeah,
here?
I'm just kind of curious as to what we can find out about what this was. Like, was this a tomb? Was this, and what can we find out about? Any more information about the context that we're in, right?
Okay.
Like how natural was this? How old was it? Do I see certain designs? Like, from what age was this, created? Yada yada.
I'll give you your choice of either nature mind or a awareness mind.
I'll do awareness mind.
Okay. This will be a difficulty 4, and then extra successes will get you further details.
3 successes.
All right. You said you went with nature, was it?
My awareness.
Awareness. You went with awareness. All right. So, the first thing you kind of notice is like the I mean, it's certainly a man-made. This is not a naturally forming cave, but like it's more of a form. It's more of a function over form. As you kind of like taking it in, you're like, oh, like that where like the sunlight comes through is like kind of purposeful, but it wasn't quite on like the pedestal near the center. You're like, is this some sort of weird agricultural thing? Is like what kind of like comes to your mind.
Were there any mushrooms around here?
Yes.
I did promise to steal mushrooms.
Right. Yeah. And exactly.
Yeah.
You sort of like you kind of like the light draws your eye to like the center of the room, but as you move off to the side, you notice that there's essentially like these rows and terraces of mushrooms built like kind of growing out of essentially patches of mulch that have been planted essentially.
Big winner. Seasoning. I'll do a head nod to the mushrooms.
Ooh, I'm gonna nature these. What are these? I got 3d6 for nature.
Oh, they're like
What's my
Death cap.
What's my target here?
yeah, these are cayenne caps. They're a particularly spicy mushroom that grows
Pepper
natively around
mushrooms.
here. Yeah. Yeah, they have this like sort of weird, sort of twisted. Usually, like you expect, like sort of a fleshy style mushroom. They actually seem to have somewhat of like a skin or a thing to them. They grow in highly curated and specified conditions. Well, quite like this. Come to think of it, there's supposed to be a rarer form of this mushroom that has to be tempered and heated, but it needs to be kept in the dark to truly mature.
I'm gonna kind of look around and pause once. Did we just raid somebody's garden?
Maybe.
I don't know.
We successfully just raided someone's garden.
So
And
are we supposed to
harvested.
open this box?
Were we paid to open the box?
Did they say don't open the box?
Go ahead and roll a mind to recall.
Okay.
All right.
The specific wording, yeah.
Yeah.
I have 1 die for that, and I got a 5. Do I remember?
Yeah. It was not. It was. It might have been implied that maybe you shouldn't open it, but it wasn't explicitly stated.
Okay, I will go open the box. I'm gonna go look in there. I want to see what's in here.
You
Yeah,
see,
hand the box over. Yeah.
you see a mushroom like the size of your head. And where are you standing?
Ooh.
I don't know, the center-ish of the room, probably.
Okay, so near the sunlight, you see it begin to shrivel as the light like kind of catches it.
I'll close it. Nope, just a big mushroom. I reclose the box. Boring.
So I guess we're really getting their mushrooms.
Okay, well,
All
let's
right.
get all the rest of those and go.
All right.
At least-
I'm gonna try one of the mushrooms just real quick. Just a taste.
Yeah, one of the ones off the cave.
Yeah.
It depends on how much you enjoy spicy food, but like it's got that like pungent sort of earthy quality to it that mushrooms tend to have.
So it's a cayenne pepper mushroom. It's spicy.
Yeah,
As
but
far
it's got this weird sort of like effervescent spice to it, and it seems to have like absorbed the death in the area, so it's got this like extra pungent sort of kick to it.
Ooh.
I mean, as far as
That's
action
going in the box.
level go, as far as action goes, that's just like salt and pepper, so you should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I have an ingredients section in my equipment, and so I'm adding cayenne pepper mushrooms and 1 squig to it.
You could easily harvest a pound of these like whilst the conversations and the analysis and stuff is going on.
I will.
And off of your previous successes from your survival, you just know how to harvest them properly.
Okay. Yeah, my survival and nature are the same. They're both 3d6 plus 1, so I suppose it could have been either of those.
Yeah, both
Can
are relevant.
I take the quote-unquote leader guy and put him in the top?
Well, the leader guy was the one whose head was smashed in.
Yeah, that's why I said quote-unquote leader guy.
Yeah, exactly. He
Yeah.
was until
Yeah.
we switched his clothes and accoutrement.
All right. Yeah. So you know the way back out the tomb. It's exactly the way you came in. You already kind of like went through the hardships of getting here. And using the word tomb feels more underwhelming now than before.
I would
Let's
like
tomb
to
now.
Upon the entrance, I would like to carve Teyrathi's rune to consecrate and bless this place in Cain's name, since we have cleared it out of all the villainy.
Do you have devotion?
I have one in devotion. Yes.
Let's go ahead and roll
He
a
is
devotion soul.
he is devotional.
DN 5.
5.
Yeah.
I have 1 6.
Okay. That is one success. So you successfully carved the ruin, but like as you like are admiring your handiwork, you're like, I think I got a little something extra on that, and you're kind of admiring your own handiwork and.
Little finesse.
Yeah.
As
It's
he
like,
as he walks away, I scour, and then and immediately go chip a rune of the twin-tailed comet in below it.
well, DN 5 as well.
Whose devotion is mightier? Whose god cares about the tomb?
2 successes.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Extra prayers for me tonight.
You feel twice as convinced in your rune as Lanessa did in hers.
I look upon that and smile. I stroke the little fur coming out of my chin. I'm like, good.
And then we get a little like headcanon sidebar of like 10 years from now, somebody coming here like fighting a bunch like the goblins are twice the size now, and like they retreat to the tomb, and they're like, Sigmar, help me, and they actually successfully summon a comet and like fucking kill a dude, like just kill him in 10 years, like.
I am going to try to figure out. I'm going to try to like scour my memory.
Okay.
To see like what I know. I'm gonna try to use some of my lore. Like, what are the usages of these mushrooms?
Okay.
Like, do they have any special function other than like you said that they're fairly like they're rare. They need to be cultivated. And so lore as a skill like really picks up just random bits of knowledge across all the realm.
Yep. Yeah, it's bardic.
And
It's
so-
bardic knowledge now.
It's bardic knowledge, and so I'm gonna just I'm gonna lore to this bitch, and see what I can remember about what I've heard about these mushrooms.
Yeah, these cayenne caps. Yeah, go ahead.
These cayenne caps, sure. I don't know what I'm looking for. I have 2 6s and 2 that are meaningless. So I 1 and a 2 that aren't going to do anything.
Probably be about a 4. DN4.
Okay, well I have 2 6s. There you go.
Okay.
2 6s.
So they're actually quite coveted in some regional cuisines, like quite coveted. Like they're the difference between a proper Anvil Guard gumbo and just soup. Like they really do kick it up to that next level. But you've heard some obscurum that they might be used in certain potions. Of a sort of like you've heard like of sort of an some sort of accelerant type potion. You're not quite certain what with 2 6s. Some sort of like potion that's been like linked to speed or motion or something along those lines. So you're not quite certain the particulars, but you've heard some obscurum.
Well, I will. I'm gonna take a couple. I'm gonna cut maybe 2 and throw them in my bag just so I can do some inquiry later when we get back to town.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you grab some of the others yourself.
Yes.
All right. You could snag about a pound as well. Like over the course of you would have been doing this simultaneously, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll grab a pound of cayenne shrooms.
I just assume that you have burlap sacks. They're a requisite of being being an adventurer. The trip back to Anvil Guard itself was relatively uneventful. None of y'all have like mounts or anything, so you just kind of go through the specific path that Cassidy Pulmere told you about, like that only
We're not
knew
that
of.
rich. Whoa, we're not.
Yeah,
that rich.
whoa, I know.
Yeah, you only get horses when you're rich enough to buy maybe a small keep. So
Right.
Yeah.
So you manage to make your way back through sort of like the hidden path through the wilderness, and then you end up sort of on the trade route, the main sort of merchant road, heading back into Anvil Guard itself. You're en route to Anvil Guard, heading towards Cassidy Pulmere, who's promised not only, again, he's a trade pioneer, so he's got some sway with the sort of merchant guilds, and he's even got some of the ears of the various privateers that like to make harbor. So gaining favor with him will help people like, okay, the Skaven and the Ogre people, they're legit. Like that, they're truly heroes. You can entrust them to do some of your more sensitive stuff, right? And you're kind of beginning to realize that this was only for that. This was a quid pro quo, just to get your name out there. He made it sound, he embellished it to sound far more heroic than perhaps it was. It's become apparent to you on the road back to Anvilgard that you just got him ingredients to make perhaps potions or some alchemical agents to sell. And he was non-specific as to if that this tomb was his or a rival's or anything else.
As we go through the city, like when we get into Anvilgard proper to meet up with him and do this handoff, okay? As we go through and to like random people, I will of course be minorly proselytizing, like at gate guards. I make my hand into the twin-tailed comet, which is this. This is the twin-tailed comet, right? It's upside down. It's like the Spock thing, but upside down. Yeah. And you know, I give them like a, don't worry, the God King watches over you. You have been faithful in your duty. You know, that kind of thing.
You've got some classic like pantaloons and like feathered, like the big sort of the wide sort of brim. The wide sort of like the bigger beret thing with the huge like feather coming out with spears and breastplates, and they've got like the striped pantaloons standing like at the outside of Anvilgard as you approach. And like the one who's new and hasn't heard of you guys quite yet goes to like sees the Skaven and like readies his spear, and the other one just goes like, you know, kind of waves the hand to him, just like, no, we let him in. And like you come up and like and you like they're the first victims.
Mm-hmm.
Of your
Sigmar will be with you. He will bless you in your guardianship of this city. You do his will by protecting the people. May your faith keep you strong and safe. And then I move on.
All right, as you walk through the gates, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the awareness. Like you hear the one whisper to the other one, "Ain't never seen a rat talk before." Like, ain't never seen a Skaven worship Sigmar before, says the other one.
I shake my head in agreement and then move on.
Very true.
Yeah, like look at the guard, me neither.
So you're basically directly en route to Cassidy Polmere, who's you know closer to the docks and stuff. You don't quite make it there when you notice a large crowd sort of blocking the streets and making it difficult to navigate. You can hear like voices sort of whispering back and forth amongst each other in the crowd, but you can hear sort of like one sort of point of you can hear sort of like one voice sort of booming over the rest, and you can't quite make out who it is because I mean everyone's like eye level. Even the ogre, just from your vantage point, it's such a large crowd, has difficulty, but we'll get to this. You pick out who the source of the sound before the rest of the party does. But we'll go with what is heard first, and then we'll go with the description.
Can I pause here to interject one question?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's something we would have already had established. Fjormar, what's your policy on climbing on you?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay, cool. All right. At which point, then, if I can't see,
like the first time you ever did it in the past, you like started climbing on me, and I was eating something, and and then I realized like you weren't trying to take it, and okay, and I just shrugged.
Okay.
There we go.
At which point, if I can't see, I scamper up on his back and stand on his shoulders to try to peer up to see what's going on. Like, right. You know, do the tall rat thing.
Perfect. Like almost like a meerkat. You've got like your
yes. Yes.
like spine, like sort of like straight slanted forward, and just like the head, and yeah, perfect. So what you hear first is, and the voice seems to carry almost, I mean, preternaturally. This was someone born to give speeches to crowds, and you hear booming out over this quite the gathering. You hear choices always were a problem. for society. What you need is someone strong to guide you, lest you give in to your desires, impulses, and chaos. The deaf, the blind, the dumb, born to follow. And I am strong enough to guide you. And this is when you see an individual in these sort of gossamer robes with this sun at the center of his chest on a medallion with 11 points, 11 rays coming off of it. He wears no hood, but he does have a simple leather cap. He has sort of like tufts of curly red hair coming out from under the cap, and an otherwise sort of jovial blue, sort of illuminated eyes. He's dressed rather meager, but of good material, if that makes sense. So the robes are of very good material, even if they're not particularly like ostentatious. It's around this time you see people in these similarly gossamer robes with rather than like a medallion with the 11 pointed sun on it, their sun is stitched onto the robes in like sort of a like a brown yellow sort of like straw colored actually stitched onto the robes, and they're handing out little like scrolls to the crowd as he continues with this speech.
I'll take a scroll.
Okay.
I would like to intimidate the closest one to know to step off.
You see a wispy sort of young, much younger human, like curly cherub blonde hair, like pudgy features, but otherwise lithe and thin. Go to hand a scroll like to you, and then you roll the intimidate.
All right.
This guy's going to learn real quick you don't prophesize to worshippers of Cain.
Yeah. Let's see. 2 3s, a 4, and a 5.
The 4s and the 5, we'll get there. Oh no, this person has like no will. The 2s will get there.
So like
successes.
Chuck would reasonably have advantage on the opposed check, right? I mean, that's what would happen there. So his success
Yeah,
number would
yeah.
become 3. Yeah.
Immediately cowers. Sorry, miss. I didn't mean. I just. And then just continues to the crowd.
Ugh. Spineless.
Do you listen in further, or do you continue on your path?
I'm curious.
Okay.
I'm ready to go, but if you guys want to stay, sure.
I wasn't curious, but now I am.
So from there, if you stick around, you're going to actually have to roll a... It's not will anymore. It's
Determination?
determination. You're going to have to roll a determination while standing in this crowd.
Okay.
This would technically be opposed, so I need my dice now. Where did I set them?
What target numbers are we looking for?
Just force.
Okay.
1 second.
Hey.
Assuming we're all staying, even if we're not listening.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm interested in this guy.
I was going to move on, but then you successfully bullied him.
You're like, you have my attention.
Yeah. Like, oh, he's not very determined, is he? I want to see where this goes.
You're looking for 2 successes each.
Okay. I had 2 successes on my determination.
I had 2 as well.
I also had 2.
I had 1.
You're kind of picking up with this guy's laying down here.
You're right. Might makes right. People do need strong people to lead them.
Yeah, Fjordmar, you're kind of buying into this gab. Strong people should, like you need stronger people to kind of like lead you. If you sort of surrender chaos wins when you give in to excess, sadness, temptation. When you give in to all these baser emotions, that's when chaos gets in. But if you don't have to make the decisions, if you let a strong leader guide you, then you're pure. And then, like, you also get this sort of like
My
Unitarian.
entire backstory is about a strong leader leading his people to ruin.
And you're like, that checks out.
Yeah.
Well, clearly the leader wasn't strong. Maybe it had you.
He wasn't truly strong. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember
Strength is more than just strength.
Well, think about how if they had listened to you, would they have all died? This is actually starting to resonate. Maybe had you been the strong leader, the ruin wouldn't have occurred. Like you're making these connections. Like like you're kind of like, I'm not saying you're indoctrinated or anything, but it makes sense to you.
Yeah. I start like eating one of the mushrooms.
And then you kind of get this sort of like basically a spiel. And if you'd like to make yourself, if you'd like to know more and make yourself clean of chaos, the 11th Dawn will be holding a service this evening. And then there's
Food service? I ask out loud over the crowd.
Your voice booms out.
Food service?
One of the people in the planar sort of gossamer robe standing to the side of the one that's been giving the speech. The person giving the speech stops and looks at you and locks eyes with you like a sympathetic face. The person next to him answers, there will be a meager buffet.
Meager. I'm out.
I would like to, while his attention's grabbed, I would like to shout, as I assume there's a small murmur, to actually raise a voice over this crowd and ask why a group who is called the 11th Dawn will have their service in the evening. Why not in the dawn?
You need to make it. Oh,
he has a good point.
I mean,
you need to make it through the darkness to see the dawn. Without missing a beat.
I lean over to the witch elf. Maybe they just serve breakfast.
The crowd all looks to each other and they do the inverse of rabble, rabble, rabble. They're like, oh yeah, we make it through the darkness. Yeah.
I shrug. Breakfast. Okay.
Weird.
All right.
All right. Somebody remind me to go to that. We got to turn this stuff in now.
We should go. This is boring.
All right. You continue on to where Cassidy Polmir's shop is. Tom, do you inspect the scroll along the way?
Yeah, I just kind of glance at it.
It's basically it basically just mentions the 11th Dawn and strength through unity, and chaos will be defeated by purity. And then it's got the location on it where you should go and time.
Does that scroll say anything about the buffet?
And then it's got their symbol pretty pronounced, as a watermark in the top. It's the sort of sun with the 11 rays coming from it.
No, nope, no food on here.
I don't like these people. I don't trust them. Preaching about other religions when clearly the God King is who protects us all. So this just seems ridiculous and unnecessary. Starting up these separate cults. Obviously, only faith in Sigmar will protect us. I mean, I don't even know why they're doing this. It seems almost heretical, to be honest. I don't like it.
I just turn to the Skaven and give him a nice, long, hard look.
What does Lanessa think about Sigmar saving everybody?
she puts her face in her hand and just goes, Marathi's bleeding heart. Why am I here still? Why am I here? I look in the direction of where Teyrathi's temple's at in the city, even though it's out of sight, and just wish, hope.
You make it to Cassidy Polmir's place. It's still kind of earlier on in the afternoon. You started out on your quest pretty early. You made it back, and so you still have like a good chunk of the day left. So the shop is still open. Cassidy Polmir is fancies himself a sort of a general wares type merchant with an eye for rarities. So the shop is a rather eclectic collection of various like potions, meeting with like utilitarian sort of like shovels and water skins on the top shelf. By the way, those will cost you 25 aqua gyranus. They're those don't come cheap.
Yeah. Water bottles that contain the same amount of liquid, though. Those are real cheap.
Yeah. Along with like various bottles and stuff like that. You've heard tell that like Cassidy is even known to come into the occasional horse for trade.
Wow.
Ooh.
He is a wealthy merchant.
We
So
Right here.
wealthy.
I'm
It's
told
amazing.
that's a delicacy around these parts.
I imagine the horse meat's just as valuable.
I mean, it must be.
I mean, we haven't had Doomfire Warlocks in the Coven in ages.
Doomfire Warlock, yeah.
Um, um, perhaps they're horse leather. That's why they're so expensive.
Yeah. I mean, just wait till the GHB. Maybe the horses will get cheaper. Who knows?
Oh, all right. Cassidy lights up. Like an older, sort of meager man, lights up immediately upon seeing the party. Do you have it? Do you have my chest? He rushes over.
Yo, we got the box.
You didn't open it, did you? And he's like looking around and like,
Yeah, we
will
did.
kind of like take it.
Yep.
Just for like a second.
He huddles it under one arm and he goes and like pulls some these lighter sort of like veiled drapes shut over the like open windows that make up just like slots cut out of the walls essentially. So no glass, nothing like that. But he pulls these little like dusty drapes over them and he rushes into like a darker corner and he opens it up. It's still good. It's still good. It's fine. You'll find your payment here, he says.
So,
And,
you like mushrooms?
Yes.
Why?
Okay.
Why did we risk our lives for mushrooms?
They were rare
Did we really,
delicacy.
did we really risk our lives?
Yeah,
That seems like you're overstating it. There was like 5 goblins and a red ball.
There was a scary box in the center of the room he wouldn't touch, though. Oh, there it is. Watch out.
Yeah, it's true. That did happen.
Fjormar, do you have the squig? Or grot, sorry.
Oh, we should turn him into.
No, I ate the squig. I got the grot, though.
You got the
Leader?
grot, that's right. Yes.
Is this the guy that wants him?
Is it this guy?
I said he would fetch you a fine price with the bounty's office. He says. You
Oh.
see.
Okay.
Oh, Bounty's office. I'll like put the thing back in the. All right.
I will pick up the payment since no one else has grabbed it yet.
Yeah. It's just it's I guess it's aqua gyranus in a satchel.
Sure.
So,
You can get them in globes. I would assume it's
Yeah.
actually a globe.
yeah, and like a little globule or whatever. About 100 of them.
Cool.
So a little.
Nice.
Yeah, you get
Uh,
a single drop and then a file and then globes. And then there's like the big giant containers that you don't generally trade around.
Right. Yeah, so you've got like an assortment of globes that add up to 100. He's like, but we all know that what you really came for, he said, was a good reputation. Priceless. And I'll be sure that everyone knows your names. What were your names again?
I'm Skig. It's very nice to meet you.
Skig. Yes.
Didn't we meet already?
We did.
I mean, they all do look the same.
If you're
Same.
having trouble with memory,
Same.
you should pray to Sigmar every night before you go to sleep. He helps lock your memories in your dreams. That way you don't forget anything.
Yeah.
I will try this.
Also, fish liver oil.
kind of smells bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good for the brain.
Do you think you would notice?
Did you spill some of that on your pants? Is that what I was smelling?
Oh yeah, a lot of other stuff too.
Very. Well, if well, it's strong.
Some of that squig, some of the grots, a few meals I had, man, a lot of memories in those pants.
Is that what you? I just trail off and just shake my head. Don't. I'll raise my hand to the witch elf. Don't do it.
You'll find that the witch elf's garb is quite pristine from her sort of her sort of lithe and rather dynamic movements. She managed to like avoid all the viscera. It is in stark contrast to the to the ogre.
Sure.
Makes sense.
Is that stuff to be avoided as a witch elf? Or do you like bask in it?
Depends.
What's the go-to?
It depends on the type of blood. Grots.
Oh yeah, they're not worthy.
It's too much to wash off for the feeling of blood frenzy you get from them. It's just not.
It's not a good return on the investment, really.
Depends on the
Yeah.
offer.
Yeah, low exchange rate for like blood frenzy to actual blood.
Mhm. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, pass our name
Let's
around.
turn in this dude.
Yeah.
we
wanting
should
to
go
eat
do
him.
that. Yep.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
I was say, does he have any blood potions here?
Is this a thing I should know about?
I just turn and look at her.
I suppose.
What?
I mean, I do catch the occasional pig.
Oh, okay. No
And they sometimes are drained. No,
non-animal blood potions.
I'm afraid not.
Well, consider yourself safe, otherwise I would have turned you into the Terathian cult, and it would come get you because you are not allowed to do that without a proper hag priestess.
I'll keep that in mind.
I would like to. I'd like to intimidate him.
Okay.
Just. Ooh. 4, 5, and 2 6s.
Yeah, he's just like, I will make sure to make a donation to the Terathian church in the morrow.
That'll work. Very good.
So you converted him right up. You're better at preaching than that guy. With the meager buffet.
Yeah. Doesn't know how to sway an audience.
Yeah, catch more
We have
flies with
business
blood,
to
as they
do.
say.
Stop your foolishness.
All right. I will be right back in 1 second, and then we'll continue. You guys make it to the bounty office, essentially. Walking about the way, you do notice sort of like throughout the journey, throughout your sort of kind of winding through the city towards like this bounty office, that there's other smaller crowds gathered around less convincing members of this 11th Dawn, mostly just like the ones in the sort of meager robes, just handing out the scrolls and just kind of like the pamphlet on the street style thing. And you notice them when you left this morning. They were about, but they hadn't started like actually like preaching and doing that. You just thought that they were, passing through, as many people tend to with Anvil Guard, maybe going to catch a ship and then be on their merry. But they seem to have kind of like, to say set up shop would be an overstatement, but you can't not see them at this point. You probably catch about a dozen of them in a dozen of these like sites in about an hour walk or so.
Do I see any groups of children, scamps running about anywhere in this city?
Oh, there's certainly some urchins about.
I would like to spot a few urchins, and the group will notice that my face goes from its traditional resting bitch face, we'll call it, to a very
The menace,
serene.
the traditional menace.
Yes,
Yeah.
a very very serene and innocent type look, and I would like to approach a group of kids. How many are there?
And 1 second here. There's about 6 of them, like playing with a stick and like some corpse of some weird like action squirrel.
Okay, all in
yeah,
rags
right.
and all that sort of stuff. There's no rich kids in this group, is there?
No, they're urchins, decidedly.
All right. I'm sorry. How many of them were there?
1 or 2 disguised rich kids amongst
6.
the peasants.
Yeah.
And it could be the prince and the pauper. We just don't know.
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. There's 6 of them.
I would like to give each of them a single aqua gyranus out of my own, not the groups, to go run around and just mess with those guys in the white robes. Steal their scrolls, push them down, kick them, run away.
Oh, they're more than excited to do this. One of them's like, finally, I can cure my gout, and like begins to drink the aqua gyranus.
Look, here's gout. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I give that one an
You have
extra one.
gout when you're like 7.
I give.
It's a rough life here.
It's a rough life. In the mortal realms, you have child onset gout.
I one.
Yeah.
You make sure that they do this, and I ruffle his hair and let them run away.
I look over at Larissa and just kind of shake my head.
Approve. Approve. All right, I will be right back. Molly just got home. Hang 1 second.
I'm not real impressed by these cultists.
I don't trust it. No, sir. Not 1 minute. They clearly have some bad intentions about them. Look at how many of them are out here. That's a cult. They're stealing faith from Sigmar. That's inappropriate.
They're talking about might makes right.
No, I mean, that's usually true. I mean,
Well, not everything they said was wrong, but yeah, their methods aren't very good.
We should go
Not
check
even
out this
opening in the
service.
morning. Yeah, we should. They said they had a buffet.
And should we blend in if we go to the service, or
I don't
are we
think
just
that's
gonna?
Do you really think that's possible?
We could try.
Blending in is probably like the thing this group is the absolute worst at.
I just wanted a comedy of errors of us trying to.
That would be good, yeah.
I mean,
We have a lot of devoted too in the party, actually.
yeah, we
Come
can
to think of it.
go if you want, but I can't guarantee that there won't be any sacrifices to Cain during their religious ceremony.
Well, if they're up to no good, then that would be appropriate. Because again,
If they're,
Well, that
If
just
they're-
means they respect you, doesn't it? I mean, might makes right.
if they're up to no good, then there'll be lots of sacrifices. If they're up to good, then just some small cuts, just a little bit of blood flow, nothing major.
The elf's right. We should look for an excuse.
I'm not
Just
promoting
find
civil-
any excuse.
I'm not promoting civil unrest.
no, definitely not. We just need to make sure that that these people are put back. The people who are there, who are innocent, these cult members, whatever they are, they're leading the innocent people of Anvilgard astray from the one true light and faith in the world.
Cain, you're right.
Yep.
You're absolutely right.
No,
Everyone in the
it's
party is like,
Sigmar.
yes, you're right, and thinks of a different god when they say it.
It's Sigmar. That's who it is. I hold up the book. See.
I do respect your book, and I won't push it any further.
I'm impressed. You can read.
Yes, I can. There's no need for us to double check that at this point in time.
I mean, we can check again. I know. I've tested you about every week that we've been together.
Has the witch elf killed somebody yet? Like,
No.
just like
Well, he's
No.
planning to. So.
Only talked about it.
We were talking about it's more of a potential minor bloodletting. We did decide we're going to go check out this ceremony later because we're pretty sure that there's This is through my own personal narrative. We're pretty sure there's heresy about.
Even the
And you can't just go killing and eating people in human society. But if they're troublemakers, apparently you can do whatever you want. So, I'm game. Plus, they
I made it very clear that I do not promote civil unrest.
I will remind you that I just paid kids to go push priests over and take their stuff. So
it was a smart move.
I'm super aware of that.
We get a cutaway to like children running through the streets, just woo, and like throwing the scrolls in the air while they're being
TPing
chased by like,
with it.
With
yeah,
healed feet. With healed feet.
yeah, like the scrolls like triple in length when they're like thrown over a building or something. So they're just like literally TPing some of the places, getting chased by these folks in gossamer robes. All right.
I think we are in the midst of our conversation on the way to turn in the corpse of a not leader goblin that's dressed like a leader goblin. I think that's the accurate summary.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. How much do we get for the body?
So,
Hey, we killed this guy.
so it's like essentially like the militia, the sort of like the militia, basically to deal with and compensate with the extra violence that occurs in the mortal realms. Hire on folks to take care of things along these lines, and so you have like just this really sort of like how do I put this, like sort of like really neutral, almost Eeyore-esque individual behind the desk with a breastplate. The feather on his cap is forward rather than back, like the plume is forward and like drooped off to the side, and just like. So you got a bounty head, he says, and he looks up. Oh,
we killed a goblin farmer.
Oh, just the head?
Well, that tends to be how you verify those. And he points over at this like board, just with cascades of like wanted posters and like just parchment of caricatures and like of various like ne'er-do-wells, as well as like really minor and mundane stuff that the town guard just will not deal with.
All right.
And
Just pop his head off. Here you go.
Skig, go ahead and roll a perception, please.
Sure.
DN4.
Awareness.
Yeah, awareness. Sorry. Yep.
Sure.
It'll take me a bit to break some D&D lingo here.
You're okay.
You'll have to forgive me. Yeah, and he's just like, you like put the
one
head.
Success.
That'll do it. We'll get to that in a second. You basically lay the head on the desk. Is that what happened?
Yeah, he
Well,
ripped
when he
the head
said
off
he
the
only
body.
wanted the head, I'm just pop. All right, well, here you go.
And he just like he doesn't even show emotion. Like just it goes in the slot below, he says. He sounds like Brian Posehn, like, just like
Put it in.
all right. There's just like a little drop box, like this wooden box like opens up, the head goes in. It's like it was once like a proper sort of brown wood, and now it's just stained to this dark, ruddy mess. And he just like pulls it in, and then he like, that drawer over there, he says, and like you see like another drawer like open up, and there's a little deposit of aqua gyranus, as well as rations.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
I'll grab the aqua gyranus
I'll grab
to
the
the group's total.
Yeah, and so the rations were for like what would have been a 3-day quest. So it's like 3 times the party. 12. There's like 12 days of rations there.
So the 3 of us each take 1 and leave 9 for the ogre.
Gotcha.
Yep, all right. I have 39 in my inventory right now. Should last me a good weekend.
After collecting that, I'm going to study the board.
So whilst this conversation was going on, Skig, you actually noticed you've got your very own wanted poster, which Feargrim will very soon be noticing, because he's kind of like He's kind of followed, but you're naturally aware. I mean, you're a Skaven. You were already like wise to this.
Yep.
But what you specifically notice about this poster is like some common iconography that only you would notice.
Okay.
Something's a little bit off about this poster. It stands apart from the rest in terms of like just the language is a little bit off, and there's these little, just off the subtlest would look like just paper imperfections. Are not imperfections; they're deliberate.
Okay. Like
Might
it's a
call
code.
them claw marks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And only you notice this.
Gotcha.
Feargrim, you notice that Skig has a wanted poster on the wall.
Hey, look!
I walk over to it and inspect it. So two things. How much D did we get out of the bounty? What was that worth on the D scale?
25. Sorry, let's make it a 25.
25 D is fine. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then all right, I step over to the wanted poster and I look at it, inspect it carefully. What's my bounty?
You're worth 100.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Oh, we got One Piece action going on. We got to make it 1 billion.
I take it off the wall.
And so usually they say like if it's the bounty office is the one that's going to recoup it, or if it's an individual or a private contractor type thing. This one is private.
I take it off the wall. I assume it's just tacked up there or nailed up there or something, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you just tear it down, no problem.
Who is the individual that it says is you're to go see with my head?
So, this is where it gets peculiar. The address doesn't exist. The directions to a place. It gives you directions to a place that doesn't exist in Anvilgard. If you were to follow the directions, from various landmarks or however, if they have addresses or whatever their system of deciphering where you are and where you should go. I know they talk about going toward, what is it, center versus outside.
Coreward versus Edgeward or whatever.
Yeah, Coreward versus Edgeward. If you were to follow these instructions, you would basically be in the middle of the water, out of one of the docks.
Gotcha. I take it off the wall. I look angrily at it. I peer real close to it, and I'm looking for the way that claws would scratch the ink, especially. And I'm expecting this to be basically the Night Runners who work for the Claw Lord.
100% that is what this is.
Okay.
The iconography you recognize is essentially Skaven code. And you're quite familiar with, because you're going to have your own dialect and your own subtleties within your own clan. This is your clan.
Okay. I roll it up and put it into my bandolier.
And of course, this hasn't escaped the attention of the ever grumpy dwarf. You notice him tear this off, and he seems a little bit furious in his demeanor, Feargrim, as he puts it in his robes.
Problems?
I think he was asking a question of the dwarf.
No, he said to you. He said problems.
Problems.
Oh, to me. Sorry, I thought you were talking. Does the?
No.
Oh, okay, got it.
I'm looking at you.
Did the guy behind the counter notice or care?
No. This is the guy who he is just the bounty collector. The secretary version of it.
Got it. He doesn't care. Okay,
yeah.
Got it. With you. Long story. I'll explain later.
Should we be concerned?
1 through 10. 6 right now.
You can even count. I'm impressed. Turn back to the wall.
I have to admire Tom. You are destined to play a dwarf.
Turn back to the wall.
He's only worth 100. Can't be that bad.
Right. What do any of these stand out as just truly unusual outside of the Skaven one?
So I have a homebrew rule I call a luck check.
Okay.
It's a lot easier to gauge on a D20 because,
Sure.
10, 11, 9. But we'll go ahead and go with a luck check, and it's just a simple d6.
Okay. Do you want a scaling luck check? Meaning, like, if I roll 3d6, that'll skew high or low. Like, it'll average. It'll be a lot closer to the d20.
Well, we'll do two. We could do 2 die 6 because your average on 2 die 6 is 7. That's a lot easier to calculate the skew on. So we'll go with 2 die 6.
Standard craps.
Yep.
10, 6, and a 4.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. There's a so like a lot of the bounties are rather middling. 25, ranging between 25 and 100 on the top end. Really middling, basic stuff. Like there's some beast that's destroying my crops, kill, and I'll get you 25. Like stuff like that. That's a lot of what's on this board, right? The skig thing was actually kind of in itself unique, but it was buried and there was some subtlety with it. You notice a poster for it says like essentially this one is like the full on wanted, and this one is issued by the city guard itself, and it says Dorgon Blade Boss, and it's actually like a particular a particular like orc, very specific. You can see his scarred like mug for various raids throughout the region. A whopping 1,000 Aqua Gyranus are being offered for catching him.
I will pull that off the wall.
What was that name again for my notes here?
Dorgon.
Dorgon Blade Boss.
Blade Boss.
If
he commands other blades what to do.
If you had subtitles on, you could just scroll back up.
My Skype doesn't offer that amenity, but I can change my background.
You can.
Yeah. And it basically has a last scene, and then it's got a position on the map I can give you. Sort of. This is a one of those downtime quests type thing.
Indeed.
Game.
Noted.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
So we eat fungus. We eat little fungus now, big fungus later.
Yeah.
I mean,
What time is it presently? Like how much time? What time is it right now versus when?
Sounds like it's time to drink.
So you've got some time between like when you're supposed to be at if you wanted to go to this meeting, you've got some time between the meeting. You've got time for supper basically.
That's what I was just going to recommend. We should go somewhere and eat. Yes.
Should we go down to the docks?
No.
That was a very strong answer. Okay.
Not
we
a
can
fan.
Go somewhere else for a restaurant. I mean,
somewhere else is good. Yeah.
Anything around here is
anywhere
fine.
but the docks. All right.
Anywhere but the docks. It's fine.
All right. So there's within the quarter you happen to find yourself in, there's a particularly well-known tavern / restaurant. It's right off the port side. So it's like got like a little bit of a scenic overlook to some of the ships coming in to Anvilgard and leaving. It's called the Brazen Steed. So named because horses have a certain. Yeah, they've got a. They're known for their gumbo. And their supposedly ogreish proportions.
I'll be the judge of that.
Oh, perfect. We can go there.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
You can already see me arguing. The sign said.
I wrote this joke immediately, by the way. Like you go through a Burger King drive-through and you have king size, it's ogre size, and then you get in, and you just frown because it's not this would seem so much food to a human. And
he busts out a laptop that looks like it's the size of a wallet, and he's just like, it's Yelp, yeah. Not ogre sized, 1 out of 10. But still would eat there again.
All right, so the Brazen Steed isn't too far away. I mean, it's a few blocks over. You kind of jaunt on over. It's
Trot on.
approaching dusk. Go ahead.
No,
Right.
brazen steed, trot on over. Never mind.
Yeah, trot on over. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
It's a few blocks over. You head over. It's approaching dusk at this point. Not quite there, although, but the sun has crested. It's on the other side of the sky, or rather, Azir is on the other side of the sky, right? Because it floats above like the fucking sun.
Heish.
Heish.
Heish, sorry, Heish. Sorry,
I don't know what you just said, but okay.
you knew what I meant.
I think
Yeah. Hish has crested. It's
The
on the other
plane?
side.
the
Yes.
plane just crested.
So
Yeah.
Can we talk about the cosmology for a minute? How many moons
No,
are here?
we cannot talk about this. This is not
No,
relevant
it's
to the game.
crazy. It
How
makes
many
no
moons
sense.
are here?
It's fantastic. How many? It's fantastic. It's
Zero
crazy.
moons. There are 0
I'm pretty
moons.
sure at any one time there are D6 moons.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they'd appear as satellites. They would. Like
Yeah.
it'd be like seeing Venus and
Yeah,
Mars
they're
and stuff.
just squiggling all over the place.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, that's the thing is like when you realize that the mortal realms are actually a solar system, it fixes a lot of stuff for like being sweet and realm gates are mass relays for Mass Effect. It makes perfect sense to me.
Oh, and Chaos is the Reapers.
Did you just discover my entire plot of the campaign? Shit.
Done.
Still waiting for that
Easy.
Shikan no Tama.
Yeah. We still got the Shikon no Tama subplot. It's
Yeah.
true.
Beer. What do they got?
All right.
That is a great point.
Hang on. Let me go ahead and turn back to my character notes page here.
Real quick for the group.
So the Brazen Steed is it's got a weird cross section of like the sort of like transient and the Corsair population, as well as like the local fair and adventurers. I mean, this is the place, right? I mean, unlike your sort of standard sort of surly hole in the wall place, they pride themselves on being the place, so they elevate everything. There is music you can hear from a block away being played by some proficient entertainers. This isn't just noise. You can hear it, and like you can hear the raucousness coming from down the street. The lights are already lit around it, even though the sun hasn't fully crested. It hasn't begun to set yet. They've already got the lanterns lit. They even have some like etheric magics going on to like power them and stuff. Like so, they're giving off like dazzling color effects rather than just your straight flame. And I mean, you half expect at any given moment walking up to it, someone to just get punched through the like window, and that never happens.
Well, even still, I enter.
That's right. I remember.
Beer.
So,
is
for
it
beer,
like a line or something, or no?
no. So you going in. So you going in. There's a retired Stormcast a woman with a crossbow under the under
They
the bar.
retire?
Huh?
Whoa, wait a minute. You just rocked my worldview. They retire?
This one did. No one's arguing.
If questioned, she'd say that sometimes the chaos you got to fight is the chaos within folk, and nothing fights back the darkness like a warm meal and a good story and some direction.
I am
But,
very
like,
deferential to her.
She's undercover. Okay.
I look at the six
she's
bright
been
pauldrons and I'm like,
she's known. She's not actually rocking the Sigmarite armor right now. But she is 9 feet fucking tall.
Language, by the way, Meph.
Sorry, man. Sorry. She is 9 feet tall and has crackling electricity in her eyes. These robust curls of red, like pluming out from her head and like falling down her shoulders and midway down her back. She's built like a Greco-Roman champion of wrestling. Her name is Mara Sternshield, and she has been known to defend the gates of Anvilgard basically constantly. So she might run she just runs a tavern in the downtime between when things attack this place. But she's basically a standing, quote unquote, retired is a misnomer. Sure. She's just like always here. Is really what it is. But hey, man, Stormcast are people too, and they got to pass the time. So she started a business. This might be the reason that somebody didn't get punched out a window, though, because Mara keeps an ever crackling eye across the entire tavern. You walk in and you can see the casks and barrels of various liquors, wines, and other decent beverages stacked up behind her. She's got the like I said, there's sort of the bar top. There's an elevated stage opposite her, and a sort of almost like a beer hall style, where a lot of like the sort of long bench style tables and stuff like that, with the occasional pillar having its own little mini bar top wrapped around it. Beers,
I'll
house.
elbow the ogre real quick.
Yeah.
I'll elbow the ogre. She's your size. That Amazonian goddess.
Too skinny.
Like a little meat on him.
What's that?
Not just a little.
This is no way for you to be talking about one of Sigmar's chosen. That's very rude.
I'm hypothetically talking about someone else.
No, I'm talking to him. You're fine.
My character says in ogre,
Yes.
which probably didn't use that big of words, but all right.
Him.
Oh.
You. Poke the dwarf. It's very rude. She is one of the sacred ones.
Oh, you need a drink, rat.
Real quick, it was Sterngard, not Stern Shield, which is what I said.
Sterngard, all right.
Sterngard. Yeah. So the house special is a stout called Son of a Gun Stout.
Pass.
It's said to be brewed by a dwarf of unknown.
Oh, really?
Unknown repute. Yeah. But otherwise, there's a handful of various, it's just like ales, meads, wines, stuff like that. Things that are like rapid aged and in big vats, so they don't have a ton of flavor, but they'll get you drunk.
Do they have any mag malt? Brackthring, dark ale, Bugman's?
Of course, there's a Bugman's. Bugman's stout, right? Like,
Bugman's.
How many X's after Bugman?
How many X's? That's the real question here.
how many axes?
X's.
X's. Is it Bugman's 5X, 3X, 4X?
It's 3X. It's Bugman's 3X.
Okay.
Still Bugman's.
It's still Bugman's. Do you get any mag malt?
Just sold my last one, I'm afraid, deary, she says.
Who? I'll start looking around the room.
Like
Well,
you see this elven corsair draped in gold and purple and brandishing a rapier and a pistol crossed on his belt with a plume coming out of his trifold cap.
Him? I'll walk over. Stick a finger in his chest. You got me, ale.
Oh, and he spins around. Do I?
Come on, Ponce. Hand it over.
I'm afraid it'll cost you, and I seem to have the supply, and you have the utmost demand. And he just gives a wry smile. and he like holds it above your head, which for him is just like kind of holding his arm out straight.
Going price on this, by the way, is 8D a pint. So just so you know for your negotiations with him that you're about to rake him over the coals, Smith.
Thank you.
Hand it over, you Ponzi bastard.
No. See, it
Is oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was wondering if this was intimidation yet, or if he had not truly begun to intimidate.
No. You see, what happens here is I hold this aloft like so. You offer me some very fine D, he says, and I will sell it to you. D is the abbreviation for the coin, right?
Yes, D is the abbreviation for the coin. That's
Okay.
Yeah,
I got all.
technically D is the abbreviation for the
Okay,
coin.
thank you.
D is
It
the
sounded
currency of
awkward
the
when I
realm.
said it, but I'm like, no, I'm saying the correct currency.
You are
Okay.
correct.
right. So I repeat thus, what is it worth to you, my friend?
I punch him in the jaw.
All right, roll an attack.
We're going here. What is this? So
Are
these
you
are.
literally punching him?
I
This would be-
am literally punching him.
Okay.
So like, you're using your fists, which are quote unquote ineffective, right?
They're terrible. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
But it would be a body melee. So
Cool.
So ineffective weapons. Right, this is one I didn't memorize before we started. I didn't think we were going to
Sure.
get this was going to happen.
Sure.
I could
Yeah,
not
well,
have
we didn't
foreseen
think
this.
the window
This is
would
where
break
we're
either,
going.
but it's gonna.
I wanted to
Yep.
start the party in a tavern to see what type of party I had,
Mhm.
but I'm happy we ended up here, so I know. Thank you.
Yeah,
Uh,
we have the window breaking party. It is here.
Turns out, yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so the important part here is the targets doesn't change your dice pool at all. Okay.
Okay.
But the target's armor is doubled, and if you actually clock his toughness and get him into wounded, if he actually had wounds, if we got into that kind of a situation, you can only deal minor wounds with an ineffective weapon. I doubt that'll matter.
Yeah. So it's not deadly.
Yeah.
I'm literally just punching.
No,
him.
this is a good, honest fight between folk. This is
Yeah,
good.
good.
Yeah.
We like those. I'm totally getting kicked out.
On his fight, it's a sucker punch.
It's totally a sucker punch.
Well, you need
What
to,
am
you need
I
to know
looking
what
for?
his defense is.
Oh yeah, what is his defense?
He is great, by the way.
Oh, so he's 2 higher than me.
So you're looking for 6s.
I'm looking for 6s. I have 2 6s.
Wow. Okay.
I was a 1 6 and then I modified 1 to 6.
All right. You catch him like kind of flush in the jaw, and he takes a step back. He's sort of surprised.
Can I catch the beer before it falls with my metal?
Yes.
With your
I
a
do
fine use of metal, dwarf.
Yep.
All right. He draws his rapier and points it to your chest and says, "I accept."
Okay, bring it.
I
Mara's
lean
just
over
like
to
his
them.
eyes. Take it outside. One of the only establishments with actual glass for windows. I don't want y'all fighting over the mid shelf Bugmans.
Can I get 3
I-
beers
I
really
start walking
quick?
outside.
I need to watch this while I'm drinking. Can I get 3 beers really
Yeah.
quick?
3 drops.
I like lean over to her.
I walk outside. I honor what she's asked. And I make it a point to drink it on the way out of the tavern.
So by the way, the standard ale, I would assume, as it's sort of the most the common ale of the realms, which is what I order while this is going down, is appropriately named Twin-Tailed Ale, which of course would be the only thing I would ever order. That's 3D, 3D per pint. So there you go, Joe.
Oh
for your-
yeah, but it's happy hour, so they're 1 apiece.
Oh, great. Okay, well, I order my one, and my tail holds it.
What's the one that comes in the biggest glass?
They're
I
all
don't care
in,
what's in it.
the barrel.
just-
Big by barrel.
The
Yes.
triple D.
they're all sold
Uh,
by the pint normally. So in here.
Yeah, but that's what I understand that, but that's what I asked.
Oh, okay.
She's like, oh, you again. She's like, oh, you. Heard about you. She says, cook this up special for you. She grabs a barrel and just like, no effort, by the way. She grabs a barrel, picks it up and sets it on the table, and it's got a handle.
Oh.
That'll be 10
how much I
drops,
got to
she
watch
says.
this fight? 10?
Or no, sorry, that'll be 12 drops, she says.
12. Like, pick up the barrel and, like, go outside to make sure I get to watch.
Can I put in a meal order before? Just I've been perusing the menu.
We're going outside. He's gonna get in a fight.
She puts a hand on her aproned hip. This is the first time you actually catch that she is in fact wearing her Sigmarite breastplate under the apron, and she doesn't have the pauldrons on, or the greaves and the stuff, but you catch that from like the posture. What do you have, what are you having, darling? She says.
I will take the line flank steak with the side of Axion leaves. Can you make it bloody, please? And a nice white wine for the side, please. I know. Don't worry, I'll make it red myself. I know I'll pair it right. Don't worry. Just make. I need you to give me white.
I'll pair it right. Yeah.
She calls to the back. She says, "One witch special, bloody as hell." She just like shouts through the window.
And
go ahead.
I'll need a fork. I don't need any knives.
She just like turns around. 6 drops, she says, as she's like goes off to somebody else's order.
I'm outside drinking this barrel, and I just turn to someone. I hope that guy punches that guy.
I also join outside.
So what was it? A duel to the first blood, or do you like to go unconscious? This elf.
Come on, you prissy ponce. I don't even get out a weapon. I just like unshoulder my shield.
Okay.
I lean over to Skig. I guess it means first blood.
I'm unconvinced.
Initiative. Got a 6
Ooh,
here.
I got a 9. 9.
Since it's just the two of you, I assume you can basically just know and go.
Yep. All right, you're up.
I am going to throat punch him.
Again, he is great.
No, and I'm gonna begin to lecture him on his on why he needs to stop being so prissy. And so that'll be my my entertainment roll.
Okay. Yep.
Here we go.
Tom just punched that dude for the halibut.
My entertainment does not go off, so that is not successful. I do not have any successes.
Right.
But then I throat punch him.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what my target numbers are. I'm just throat punching him.
He's great. You've got a 6.
Are you legitimately attempting to like call shot? Is that what you're?
Sure.
Or are you just?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, the
Again,
rules
I don't know
for
what I'm doing.
that.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. Here we go.
Surely that's found in the rules section, right?
Yes.
I got a 5.
The short
Okay.
answer is you're going to need 6s. That's the answer.
Okay.
Given assuming his defense is still the same.
Cool.
Yeah, he's still great. So like you swing past him and miss your punch, and we cut to 1 hour later, and he's got the 5Xs out, and you guys are laughing and on the verge of blacking out.
I like that. That's a good cut.
Yep.
like arms over each other, and he's busting out the good stuff, and you don't remember how you got here, and you just know.
Wouldn't be the first time.
You're both like bloody as bloody as hell and stuff like that. His rapier's nowhere to be found. It probably went on a really long time.
I'm pretty sure he needs 6s on me. So
yeah, no, this fight would have went forever.
Yeah. You determined that you each need 6s for everything.
for everything.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a bunch of empty plates stacked up next to me. Oh, good time.
Yep.
And
So,
I'm completely broke, so we need another adventure.
No, luckily tonight had an all-you-eat buffet. so it was another 12, and then you just got to eat. By the way,
Oh yeah,
oversized-
I've seen those, and when I'm walking up, they try to switch the sign real quick, but I'm fast.
It's like the
He's
Homer.
hungry.
I got +2
Plus two
move
movement.
when I'm hungry. Can't deal with it.
So we cut to a scene where Skig, would you have continued to imbibe? You have perfect recall, by the way, of the entire fight.
No, I would have just like I don't. Skig doesn't like to be drunk, but he enjoys twin-tailed ale because he's worshiping Sigmar appropriately by drinking the ale.
So
he
Skig,
would
you're the only. Go ahead.
He would nurse a beer over most of the night.
Yeah. So Skig, you're the only one in the party who knows exactly what happened this night.
I watch with interest. My tail actually holds it and drinks. Like my hands don't ever act. It's just like the tail comes up and it's like.
Yeah. At some point, Lanessa would have gotten bored with kind of like a very low, like it's a fight to first blood, which at first intrigued you, but then was super boring because it was just fists.
Well,
So you went in, the steak was done.
I also learned that first blood means just blood once, and that's just why I even bother. What was
So at one point, the meal was ready and you walked back inside.
Yep. From a witch elf perspective, fighting to first blood, it's like, but that's when the fun starts. Like, why are you stopping?
Are you guys just training? I mean,
Just teasing. It's all teasing.
Just teasing.
I enjoy my steak.
Yeah.
And salad.
So,
I get a low quality soup or something, which I consider to be the finest meal. One of the finest meals I've ever had in my life. There are actual solid chunks of food in this. This is incredible.
They don't even charge you for it. This is like they're switching out the kettle from the buffet, and there's some swill in the bottom of it, and they just pour it into a bowl for you. I guess if you want this. And then,
absolutely. It's delicious.
There's a hunk of stale bread with it.
Yeah, they were just going to let it solidify and turn into some grease to cook with, but I guess you can eat it.
I eat it greedily and happily.
So yeah, we do that.
See, each of you guys were all right.
Lanessa, you get your meal. In the time skip, do you do anything else of note? Probably just finish a good hearty, decent meal.
Yeah. I knock back a few things of wine. I take one of the glasses of wine when I'm a little bit drunk, and I take my knife and I cut my hand a little bit, put some drops of blood, trying to make some hag brew, trying to learn the ways of that and praying over it. And really what I did is just made bad wine worse. But did my...
Someday we're going to have a sippy cup in this party. Oh, boy.
Watch
towards
out
it.
now.
You kind of already do, though, except it comes from the tambourine man dwarf and the blood vulture. You've kind of got parts of it, and there isn't really
a warm meal talent. We got a lot of sippy cups.
Yeah.
Their characters might not have the fortitude to want to eat the warm meal, but
I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah.
I think with your adventuring together now, whilst they're weird to you, you know, it's you still make the meals. You're not gonna feed them goblin femurs and shit.
I understand the concept that different races eat different things. So I'm not trying to poison them. I understand, at least at a basic level, that ogres can eat anything and other races aren't quite so tough, so I'm
it's why I pointed out
that bowl I'll put some blood in it, that bowl I'll put some beer in it, that one I'll just call something that has to do with Sigmar. Everybody's happy.
Basically the leavings, old parts of entrails, rendered fat. That would be excellent for me. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'll put some yellow food coloring in it. Hey, golden feast. There you go, and then everybody's happy.
So we do the cut too, and it's just Grimnir and this Corsair that you've learned their name to be Avender at this point, captain of a alleged captain of a ship, and you just kind of stumble into the into like the road out of the tavern. You've got like the jug of like 5X slung in your like between your knuckles, you know. He's like, if you ever need a ride, he says, he's like, I got my own ship, like I said earlier.
We'll see about that.
He's like, no,
Got
it's
my
right
own
over
ship,
there.
as I mentioned many times earlier.
Yeah, he's like, no, it's right over there behind the building, and he points, and like our camera view sees only the building and like nothing, you know, like. But didn't you say you had someplace to be, my friend?
Yes.
And like it's like everyone's like coming, like the stack of plates are on one side of the ogre, and the witch elf is just like
I'll
sort
go
of
to the
painfully
empty
wiping her
stack of
mouth.
plates. I've
What's that?
learned just to look for the empty stack of plates, so I
Yeah.
stumble that direction.
Yeah, cool. The rest of the party actually kind of like is behind you at the door and very states of like having. I'm going to put it this way: Skig is the second most sober, because the ogre is just like you enjoy the experience of it, but like because you're immune to poisons and like you can just eat anything. Like alcohol is just like fun for you. It's not like there's no detriment to it. You can eat anything. Like
I just like to see how fast I can drink it.
like Nurgle rot won't, like if you just eat like a blight king, you're just like fine. So alcohol is meaningless.
As we start walking, Skig, his tail snakes around and draws the symbol of the twin-tailed comet on Lanissa and Feargrim, and I'm going to use I'll use Revitalize on them, which lets me remove any one condition I want.
What the hell?
I will remove the intoxicated condition. Sigmar must bolster them, and then my tail draws a twin-tailed comet.
So-
I cure their drunkenness.
So you got to roll actually to cast your miracle, right?
No, this
A
one requires
literal-
no roll. This one just works.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
a literal buzzkill.
Blasted rat.
Hey, weren't we supposed to go to some buffet in the morning?
It's now. That's where we're going. We have
Why
to go
isn't it
see
the
about these
morning?
heretics.
But they're the rising dawn.
They had some kind of
And
silly
in the
answer.
evening. In the evening.
Ah,
Let's go. Ugh.
Can we still possibly cut them a little?
I don't think we should unless they're actually heretics, in which case, then don't cut any of the innocent people who've been brought under their sway. Those are
Just-
the faithful.
Just a little.
yeah, like the rat said, we're just waiting for an excuse, but we have to find one.
Okay, all right.
You both find yourselves like stunningly sober.
I just shake my head like, this is not the first time. We've been down this road before.
If you are keeping track of contacts, you can add alleged Captain Avender Rail to your list of contacts.
Yeah,
Cool.
I did.
I wrote it
Corsair.
down. Yep. Corsair
Perfect.
Captain.
Alleged. It's important to
Yeah,
put the alleged in there.
alleged is important. Yeah.
Um,
I got like a party list of stuff we've acquired, like just like D, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Currently it's 125, so it's not like a big deal. But
You can just hold the
are we
D.
doing like a party document where it's just this is the loot everybody has, or
Yeah,
are we
yeah.
actually-
Because
Yeah.
we'll use I'll write up the party goal sheet after this too, like after this week, because you actually keep a party goal sheet with party everything on it, so it'll have like the party.
Oh
loot
yeah,
and
then we
just
can
general stuff.
put
Yeah.
all that stuff in the same spot. Nice.
Okay, if
Yeah.
someone's got that, then I'll take it off mine. Then okay.
Yeah.
to be clear, I asked for short-term and long-term goals to
I've
help
already
me write
achieved one short term.
the campaign. I didn't realize they had codified them in the rules when I asked that, and then I read the book.
It's all right.
I mean, it's a nice idea.
Yeah,
Didn't
we
you
can
play that?
discuss our long-term and short-term party goals, because you have to have individual goals and party goals, and like we can figure that out over the course. Of
Oh
the
yeah,
coming
I
weeks.
was waiting for the party goals to just talk to everybody. So yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good.
That can evolve organically, right? As we get to
Mhm.
as we personally get to know each other's characters or whatever. We the players.
All right. So you head to this sort of appointed place on this scroll, and it's sort of like a meager warehouse, again, still in the docks area, that they have converted essentially into a place of worship. Like it shows that they've tried. Like they've got like little like tapestries up on the outside to identify that, hey, this is a place. They've they've cleaned it up, removed boards off the windows and actually like opened up the area so like you can actually see inside and like light comes in and so on and so forth. You sort of approach. There's one of these ones in the sort of plainer basic robes with the stitched on sun outside, just kind of greeting people and just sort of greeting people. And when you look inside, there's a bunch of like sort of cushions on the floor strewn about. Lining one wall is a table with a buffet with various like pastries and breads and stuff. With a meager I wouldn't say a meager display, but there's like some dips and stuff, like various like like actually just having butter here is kind of a big deal. So there's actually like fucking butter. They've got some very like something like a pesto where it's like an herb and like nuts that have been ground up with some oil and some sort of a fat. So various like little like they've got some spreads. And then like there's actually like salted fish like on hand, just
good
slabs
for the
of them.
brain.
Yeah. Slabs of them, probably like several several slabs that are meant to feed a congregation, but to you it looks like a good meal. If you
This is a solid meal table. Yeah. I'm quickly scanning the area for any little folded piece of paper, like take one or any limitations.
No, there's nothing like that. There's
is there
nothing
a
like
person
that
behind the table that is handing things out, or
No, it's off to the side. There's not
we're-
even like there's
we're
not
going
like plates or
town.
utensils even. Like there's just like you're supposed to walk up and graze,
It's time.
And then like there's
I worked up an appetite walking here from the restaurant we just ate at. So I mean,
so you've got like you've got like a just like various like baguettes and loaves of bread under one shoulder, like in a big massive clutch, and then like you're currently like fisting in like hunks of like not even worrying about like the bones on the salted fish. You're just like grabbing fistfuls and cramming them into your face. At one point,
I just want to make it clear, I'm not leaving the table with stuff. Like, this is the table that I'm sitting at. Like, I find it fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say I appreciate all of this like Tolkien-esque or description of food that is gonna cease existing in about 3 minutes.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's like those
the
sand
party I'm
sculptures
embellishing some.
No, you're fine. It's good.
It's like the sand sculptures that those monks make and then destroy. Like,
Right. Yeah,
in the creation and the destruction. I mean, the rest of the party you guys can talk to people, interact.
No, I worked up an appetite, and now I'm sober, so I'm eating.
Ooh, try the butter.
At one
I'll grab
point,
instead of like the spreader, I'll grab just the stick and just kind of like rub it on a loaf.
Yeah,
kind of
that's good technique.
He's got the whole loaf. This is like, like he's put the butter over the top and he's just like smashing it into his face. So like, at one point, someone does try to come over, but then there's a fucking ogre there, and they
language.
just like,
meth.
sorry, man, sorry.
Yeah, right.
There's an ogre there, and they just like, they don't even say words. They just go back, and then like you see like. Like someone who must be in like higher rank on account of like they actually have some sort of like jewelry or something like that puts a hand on their shoulder and just like kind of pats and nods.
It's better this way.
They can still claim there was a buffet, so they're not lying in their salesman pitch earlier in the day.
Right. So it's about this time that the gentleman you recognize from the marketplace comes in. It's a very sort of like casual despite the attempt at pageantry, it's a very casual, laid back. People have like little conversations off to the side, like sitting on pillows, not even facing him. Like there's a obviously engaged, devout, like totally buying what this guy is selling group of folks, like crowding up around him, not even sitting on the pillows, sitting on the floor in front of him type thing. You know, about a dozen or so. Various races. You've got like human dwarf. They're all here. There's even like a Sylvaneth, like branch witch. You know, one of the smaller ones, like kind of hanging out there, standing, leaning up against the wall opposite the buffet, just kind of like looking over, kind of nodding along. And then like again, various people at various states of like disinterested. The ogre and the dwarf. Fjormar and Feargrim are like still at the buffet table because it's just like this is our table now. Like you're just like munching along. Skig and Lanessa, what are you doing as this sort of speech kind of ramps into?
Sure. But, go ahead, Lanessa.
Well, I'd like to walk up closer to where that priest is giving a sermon. Everyone's sitting. And just kind of stand near the back and kind of keep an eye and see what's going on and try and figure out where are all the other priests at in the room. Like, are they all up there? Are they kind of scattered around?
Yeah. So like there's certainly like some sort of
And how many
like,
of them are there?
There's about a dozen in total. There's about a dozen in total, including him. You notice that they're kind of careful not to outnumber the amount of people in the room itself. So like there was like some extras that kind of retreated into like the back room that everyone came from. And you imagine from the layout, like I said, this was sort of like a retrofitted or a warehouse that's been retrofitted. So like it's a very sort of thin partition at the back of the room that is like quote unquote the other space. But they just kind of disappear back there behind some like some stacks of like boxes and like a makeshift partition. And then you have this gentleman sort of standing forward with some like candelabras, and you've got these tapestries hung kind of covering the crates and on the walls around them. There's little lantern lights hung about, and there's actually an attempt at having like a pretty decent sort of centerpiece hanging from the ceiling. Not quite I wouldn't quite call it a chandelier, but like some sort of like effigy, some sort of big ball, all reminiscent of a sun with 11 candles on it. And like I said, you have this sort of like devout dozen sitting up front. So there's probably about 10 people in the robes. You said you made it a point to be at the front, but kind of behind that.
Behind the people sitting. I just want to be nearby, kind of off to the side, and just see what they're doing.
So 10 of these 11th Dawn are sort of scattered about, 5 of them standing at the front, and then just sort of like 5 of them transplanted throughout the audience, essentially. Like they're not like at guard positions. There is still one person standing outside, like handing out like little last minute brochures and trying to get people to come inside. But there's not really a guard per se.
Okay.
I will be up with her because I want to be hearing what the main preacher is saying, basically.
Two challengers approaching, I suppose.
I'm not. While they approach, I'm actually from my vantage point at the back with the food. I'm actually evaluating where all of the cultists are and keeping an eye on the movement of them.
Right. Oh yeah, like Stephen Powell, you've got like cool guy like youth pastor, wears the jeans, has a guitar, like that's who's up there right now. Sorry, saw the chat.
Yeah, and even though I'm eating a lot, like ogres are very used to eating a lot while still multitasking, because it's like most of their life. So
eating is a free action for an ogre, really. So you still have your allotment of action.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tom's idea is good. That's basically what I was doing.
You're a hunter.
yeah, casing the room, thinking about ambush points, like what do I do if this happens? Because at least from what I was getting from the rat, he disapproves of what's happening here, but he doesn't violently disapprove. And I'm getting from the witch elf, she does. And so I just want to be ready in case, things escalate.
I just need to know where I need to throw this table once the fight starts.
Yeah.
I love that you're presuming a fight. This is weird.
We have a witch elf in the party.
Hi.
Who wants to bloodlet?
I'm an Icebrow hunter. All I ever do is scout and prepare for fights.
Also heresy.
So he kind of like starts in with a spiel. Like he actually this gentleman who's actually at this point or is it? Brother Item, he's introduced himself at some point. So Brother Item has introduced himself at some point, and like it starts with like, just casual conversations, like just talking to like the various like groups of people. Doesn't go into like the full like postulating mode. Just really does just like engage people on it, like little groups, walks around, and then goes up at the front and it starts this conversation with this sort of like the core, sort of in the process of being like fully converted, sort of that core group, and like engages them. Someone asks a question, the funny thing about that type thing, you know,
it's a conversational coffeehouse environment.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of folks in my position, we've got a lot to say, but you've had a long day, you've worked hard, and I find that it's best to not to say a whole lot. I mentioned, if you're here, chances are you've already heard the word. You've heard that the path to enlightenment involves letting go. That to remove chaos from your heart, you got to remove temptation. You got to remove strife. You got to remove fear. And where does fear come from?
I raise my hand.
Oh, yeah, where does fear come from, sister?
From the lack of will to take your own destiny in your hand. I pull out my knives for emphasis. And I would like to do a general intimidation. Not necessarily him directly, just intimidation in general.
You're loving this intimidation.
I love it. I'm rolling okay on it, so.
All right.
He invested points, dude. He's going to use it.
A 1 and 3 6s.
The room, you have the room at this point, and not the, and not Item. No. Good demonstration of fear. Look at you. Did that fear you evoked in everybody right now, did that come from destiny? Or did that come from someone?
It came from Cain. And it came from my abilities learned through the Canaanite temple. The Canaanite temple that also helps feed the poor, that takes care of this city whenever Sigmar is unable to. And I kind of lean over to Skig.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you do shepherd the poor. You shepherd them. But have you saved them?
What god do you call service to? What being of divine?
That's the beauty of
all
it.
of them. There's a
All
lot.
of them,
There's
but
a lot.
most
There's good ones,
importantly-
and there's also evil ones. Like,
But most importantly, you're
So
right.
worship-
There are many evil gods, and it's hard to tell who's on your side and who's out for their own agenda. Cain certainly taught you a whole lot, I'm sure. But Cain's also, the murder god, the god of blood? I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a time and place for murder. I'm sure there is. Yeah, I know I myself wanted to murder a person or two. I know it's hard to believe, someone mild-mannered as myself. But the real God I want you to look to is in here. And he points to the sun on the medallion on his chest.
who's what god?
What does that
I
mean?
see.
Self.
Yeah, that's self.
The self you know right now is not your real self. There's all this stuff going on. all these things getting in the way. You're afraid. You're afraid of somebody brandishing daggers in a nice casual conversation with a decent, like, hand gestures over to, like, the table where it's, like, almost gone.
So
With a
lightweight
decent congregation of folk from a wide walk of life.
This guy calling me wide.
Have you heard the good news of Vol?
Yeah. The good news.
But what I'm trying to say here is maybe, you know, Kane, I got nothing against Kane. He's done right by this town and right by these folk. As you've so clearly illustrated, sister. But what I'm saying is there's more to this. We already know there's 8 realms. Can you name all the gods that are once upon a time were all united for the service of mankind, but then let themselves get in the way?
Can you name them since you worship them all, apparently? That's what you said.
Answering a question with a question. See, this is the movement of somebody who is themselves afraid. And like you start hearing the crowd, like he's starting to sway the audience against you from your intimidate.
Can I help from my table? Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please.
I don't think he knows. He's pivoting. Or wait, is pivoting to... Yeah, what are them? What are all them gods?
Well, you got Alariel, Nagash, and he rattles them all off. Like, you don't even know. No, like he goes all the way through.
Are there 11?
No. There are not 11.
How many are there?
It's like 8.
That's only 8.
He's like, you're right. You're right. That is only 8. But
Should there be 11?
He's like, the 11th
Like
dawn
eating?
isn't about the number of gods.
He can count.
That's a short. He's like, that is a very, I can say earthly. That is a very earthly view, a very realmy view of the numbers.
I don't think any of this makes any sense.
Are there some kind of other numbers? And I'm like kind of asking I suppose the rat isn't near me, the dwarf, I guess. Because he just said I can count. There's some kind of other numbers I don't know about.
Actually, go ahead and roll a.
Is there mathematics? Are we getting into imaginary
No,
numbers
roll
here?
fucking theology, religion, yo.
Yeah.
Theology mind. Specifically.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about it that way. It is also appropriate to ask that. Yes. All right.
Feargrim.
Yeah, I'm in. What am I rolling?
Theology mind.
You're rolling a theology mind.
Cool.
DN4.
I got 2 successes.
You know specifically that they're holy numbers of chaos, and like.
I mean, there are numbers, and they're associated with twisted beings.
11's not one of their numbers. Like the known ones are 6, 7, 8, 9.
12.
And
Or
13.
wait, 13, I mean. Yeah, 13.
Yeah, 13.
And 13 Skig pipes up.
Yeah.
So who do you worship? Like something like I'm dialed into the conversation now.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, all those gods, they once upon a time, they did great things for man, elf, Cronothi. And he just like mentions it, like basically rattles off all the races in the room. He's like, but they also abandon y'all to yourself.
But didn't you just say salvation was in ourself?
And that's exactly what I'm getting to, my friend. Salvation is in yourself. And then one of the sort of like lackeys to the side brandishes this syringe.
We went from 0 to syringe real quick on this one.
He's had the audience the whole time, is what you're not getting. Like, the party is clearly woke to the cultist shit.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Stuff.
I see just roll out.
Yeah, there's no point in baiting
Kool-Aid.
him. We got to get to the main arc. He pulls out this like this guy like the syringe on this like on this this little like wooden sort of platform, and it's really like done up. All of the attempt at like the pageantry and the tapestries has crystallized into this one moment. Salvation, he says, and then like Grimnir, Feargrim, you don't feel right. You instantly. This isn't like your conscience or not feeling right about the situation and feeling this sort of like utter uncanny valleyness of the whole scene that's it's not that. You feel something more primally not right when you see this. Like something like a scab or a wound just kind of within your skull, like just opened up.
Something's right. Something's not right. And I stand up and I unsling my shield.
Yeah, and so you see this thing, it's syringe. It's got this like sort of amethyst ichor within it, and you swear that you catch this fleck of like a silver tinsel or something with the faintest gold tip. The rest of it's like thing, and it's otherwise a very like Village of the Lost Children, like overt, like looking, very medieval thing.
You best be putting that down, son.
Skig, by the way, I'd say that you recognize some of the
inspiration.
Yeah.
Gotcha. The technology, is that what you're referencing there?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. I point out and I'm like, I was right. It's heresy. They're bad guys. You're all bad guys. You've turned away from the light of Sigmar.
How does the party proceed? Because he hasn't brandished it. He's not like injecting someone actively with it. They've shown this syringe.
I would like to lean over to Skig and go, I'm about to end this old man's career. And I am going to sprint towards it to attempt to just knock it over and push it far away and just shatters whatever I can.
He is never going to spiritually recover from this.
I think an athletics is in order.
All right. I do have
Athletics
contortionist
body.
too, if that helps for getting through the crowd at all.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I'm a contortionist too, if that helps getting through the crowd of people.
Yeah,
you can
it
add
is.
dice to
Oh,
it.
it
Or double
definitely
what's it? Yeah.
advantage or something. Maybe I don't know.
No,
what
it adds like I think it like doubles your dice pool or doubles your success or something weird like that, right?
I did
Okay.
not expect this to actually be coming into use in the round one. So, here we go. You have advantage on opposed tests when attempting to escape someone's grasp, slip away from them when grappled, or you can additionally you can fit into unusually small or cramped locations, narrow pipes, containers. Basically, he gets through small spaces easily, so he has advantage on all these checks. Or would theoretically, you could figure out some other bonus as appropriate, right?
Yeah, so I mean, people are going to try to stop you as you like bound through and you writhe about and stuff like that. I'm just going to say you've got an extra die to your pool for doing this.
2 4s, 3 5s.
It was 4. Was the difficulty.
So 5 successes.
5 successes.
I'm not even going to have you roll a follow up. You weave through this crowd effortlessly. Like some of the like these like apostles like try to stop you. Some of these like acolytes try to stop you, and you just like effortlessly duck under. You do the full on like slide on the knees, like contort back, like limbo champion of the universe like motion, and just like whack. This thing flings across the room, smashes into the wall, and it looked way more viscous whilst inside the syringe than what it actually is. It hits the wall and just like pretty much just like water flows down and begins to evaporate before it even hits the ground. And you swear you catch this tiny spark of silver flit out of existence somewhere in that chaos. The crowd at this point, especially the people that weren't the ones that were like half like in and lukewarm, basically just get up and begin to leave. Like they're in the. I mean, now we're going into like snapshot mode.
Crowd,
They're basically in the
crowd
middle of
mode,
like
yeah.
fleeing. You've got the ones who are engaged stand up and like look scared and paralyzed with action, and then the ones who aren't paying attention are suddenly paying attention. And so you've got about half of the people just like outright fleeing from this whole room. Probably about like 30 bodies in total, as not counting the 11th Dawn themselves.
I pull the holy symbol, the twin-tailed comet, off the back of my backpack and hold it aloft. And I assume like somewhere in being a priest and capable of miracles means that I am capable of doing sort of minor things like making a holy symbol be lit up and things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no specific talent for that.
No, I mean you can glow. There, you can probably even like billow some winds. Like what's
like
the
basic thaumaturgy would be the cantrip.
Yeah, thaumaturgy. Yeah, you can do the thaumaturgy stuff.
Cool. I hold it aloft and I say, I hold it way up in the air so everybody can see it, and I say, "The God King will save you all. Do not fear. Leave these heretics behind and get out of here. You should go now." Go.
All right. So at this point, you're going to try to convince them all.
Well, I'm saying that. You tell me how that's interpreted. I am saying that thing.
Hell, man, you can have an extra die because it's the right thing to say in the situation. But I mean, you've got equal parts. Like, some people are like frozen in fear. I mean, your choice of the social skills, really. Like, okay. Are you intimidating people to leave? Are you inspiring them to lead? Are you convincing them to lead? So guile is probably the most apt, I'd imagine, because there's a sort of a finesse, like, how you say it is as important as what you say.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Yep, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
So.
All right. I got a...
Because you said the right stuff, again, an extra die in your pool. It's 4 again.
Okay,
again, 4.
Yeah, I did get a success. Yes, I got a 6. 1 success.
So any of the undecided folk, and like the ones who are frozen, like they're all like you've swayed them. They're gone. So you just have this like weird core group of about a dozen. Even about half of them have decided it's not worth it and pieced out. And so you have about 6 bystanders at this point, and 9 acolytes, and then the main person.
Okay. I will use a medal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I will use the miracle of bolster faith. I will target all of the people who aren't the acolytes in the zone. Bolster faith doesn't require a check. It immediately removes all frightened and charm conditions from everybody. Okay.
Okay.
So hopefully that
removing
helps.
charmed is super important.
All of us are in that, as are any of them. They immediately lose all frightened and charmed conditions.
Okay, they are still collateral damage in the room when initiative picks up.
Mm-hmm.
But they are trying to flee.
Okay.
Yeah.
This will also create a barrier around us, by the way. Bolster faith doesn't just like allies can pass through it effortlessly, so they can walk out and leave. But it literally creates like a barrier around us that those I've deemed as enemies of the God King cannot pass through without testing.
That's a really good spell.
It is a super
really
good talent to hold the might of the God King.
So I'm going to go ahead and need you to all roll initiative now because, yeah.
We found an excuse, boys. I like stand up from the table and saying that.
You remember how like as a GM like you think that there like there's a puzzle or there's a problem and I'm like, and you just expect the party to solve it? Good job.
Yeah, sure.
Good job, Vince. I'm like, there's clearly a problem. Like, how do you get behind the like layer of like pageantry and after like this? Perfect. Well done, everybody.
All right, Feargrim.
I'm on a big old 10.
Okay, good roll. Lanissa.
9.
Fjormar.
7.
Look at that. We covered the spread. Bad guys.
Bad guys got an 8.
Okay, they are on the same as me.
You go first. Ty goes to players.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, so then the initial. So I assume at the moment there are 10 of them in the room. They don't have
10
weapons
total, 1
brandished.
noteworthy individual.
Yep. what are we talking about for zones in this room? Like the area where he is one zone, the sort of back area that they were going to is one zone, and the food table is a different zone. Is that about right?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds about right.
So Lanissa and I would be in like the middle zone, and then Feargrim and Fjormar would be in the far zone, and then we don't know what's in the back zone right now.
Correct.
Okay, cool. All right, I like the zones. They're easy. Once you kind of get the hang of it, it's just like imagine the space, break it up into a couple areas, good to go.
Yeah, I was about to say I like zones.
Yeah,
I think it's a good mechanic.
Yeah, they were the real standout for me when I was testing. I'm like, I like this a lot.
If you're not going to use a
my away,
What?
how many zones am I away from the bad guy?
Well, there's probably some in your zone. The main bad guy would be one away from you. Because it's like, you can't see my hands. But you're in the back of the room. Effectively, the big room we're in would be 2 zones, and then the back room is a zone. That make sense?
Okay. And
Yeah, there's essentially a charge action too, where if you close the zone and you can do the thing. Like there's that.
Your offense increases by a d6, or your offense increases with your defense. Offense goes up, defense goes down.
awesome. Sounds great. So I'm gonna begin chanting an old dwarven battle hymn of courage.
So as this is sort of as you're beginning to do this, as like the awareness that shit has hit the fan has occurred. Oh son, now you done and had to go ruin a good thing, says the main leader guy, and he pulls the medallion from his neck and it like whips out into a weird sort of blade sword, or a sort of weird like whip sword with the sun forming essentially like a knuckle guard, and the metal you realize actually has become malleable to like sort of get a curvature to it, with those 11 beams sort of wrapping around as like the filigree and the ornamentation.
Neat.
Well, here we go. I'm gonna open with my my battle hymn of the dwarven people. With 1 success.
Gentlemen, I do apologize. I need to step away. Please go. Skig will be dodging on his turn. He would heal if it's necessary. Okay. There you go.
Okay.
And then it'll be Feargrim, Lanissa, and then myself doing that. Then the bad guys, and then Fjormar is last. Okay.
Right.
Yep. So 1 success for those that start in my zone for damage bonus, and then I will charge into
the damage bonus. Then is that is specifically the ogre. That is specifically Fjormar.
Well, no, it's going to be whoever starts in my zone. So their initiative, when they start, if they're in my zone, they're in spot.
Fair enough. Yep.
And so probably not him.
Yeah, right.
Not this turn. And then I'm going to spend my metal to charge in and hit the dude in the face.
Main dude.
Say what?
Main dude, yeah.
Main dude.
Okay.
What's above great?
excellent.
Excellent, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to rage.
Let me make sure, but yeah, I think it's excellent.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I'm gonna rage and bring my my defense down to great and bump my melee up to good. So I don't know what he's at, but
You're on 5s.
Okay. Well, hold on. So I'm coming in at good, and then because I'm charging, I go to
Great, which would be against great as force.
4s. Okay. So I'm on 4s against him.
Yep.
Weapon skill 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Ooh, 2 successes.
If you're charging, you get an extra D6.
Oh, is it not a step? It's a D6.
It's an extra D6 onto the attack. Yeah. It's not
okay. Sorry.
I just looked up.
3 successes. I apologize.
3.
Yep.
Okay. So you'll note that as you go to swing in your hammer, it's sort of like you feel like you hit this sort of like inertial, like field or something like that, and then damage is what 4 or whatever.
3, 4, 5. And one of those is a 6, so he's going to get knocked down. He's kneecapped. Oh, I'm sorry, not kneecapped. He's stunned, right? That's what...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stun, not knocked down. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I stunned him.
What does stun do?
So 5.
With Crushing Blow.
So you'll note something really bizarre happens. You hit this like sort of like inertial field.
Yep.
And you hit him like kind of like catch him on like the sort of like the side of the chest around his shoulder area, and 2 of these like acolytes around him just like grip that exact same spot and drop to the ground.
He's a Zinchian cultist. Nice. I've seen that spell before.
Although you do feel meat underneath the weight of your hammer.
Yeah.
So you know you connect with him, and he like winces, and you feel like you got a pretty good smash in there.
Sweet.
So it's not like
Awesome.
it's totally negated. You felt meat under it too.
Yeah. I connected.
All right. But there are 2 less cultists now.
Sure.
Hey, they have defender. They got that wound transfer like a necromancer to skeletons.
Yep. So the next up is Lanissa. You are in the zone. You are beginning in the zone as Feargrim. So you have the +1 to damage.
Yes. There's other cultists in this zone too, right? Most of them are here.
Yeah. It's a good 50-50 split.
Okay, I'm gonna split my attacks and do 3 at one cultist, 3 to another cultist. I'm gonna not focus on the big guy at the moment.
Okay.
I just want to see what happens.
Okay.
What am I aiming for?
Yeah. So you're on 2s.
Okay. So 2 successes for the one,
Yep. Gone.
and
Gone,
3
so.
for the other.
Both gone. You stick one in the chest and like one in the back of the side of the neck, and like they both go down pretty handily.
Does that do anything to the big guy?
Doesn't seem to.
Okay. I would like to use some metal.
Okay.
Should I roll my 6 right now?
Oh yeah. Roll your 6 because you have attacked.
Great.
Oh, it's a 5
Great.
again.
Oh.
So close. All right. 3 successes
Nice.
on the first,
Mhm.
and 2 successes on the second.
Both go down.
All right.
Nice. We got some AOE over here. See, that's kind of the roll.
Nerves.
The numbers have quickly turned in y'all's favor. Skig does the dodge. Nobody needs to be healed. Dude goes. He is going to. You're the tank. What's your defense at right now?
It is. Let me look it up. So I was up at 1 higher and down, so I'm at great.
Great. And then you had you achieved the stun thing, which isn't quite as bad as D&D, but still bad.
Stunned creatures can either take an action or a move, but not both.
Okay.
They cannot spend metal to take an additional action.
That's super important for this guy.
The creature's speed becomes slow. Siege page 140. Okay.
Yeah.
Second most important after the metal one is stunned creature's defense decreases 1 step.
Okay. So he goes from great to
That's the good.
good. So
Hello, everyone.
like,
I apologize.
oh no, you're fine. You just now dodged. By the way, we're going on to this person's items turn here.
We're gonna need a
so
heal
it's-
because the witch elf killed 4 people and the dwarf smashed the guy and he's stunned and can't
So-
use metal and he was going to.
Yeah, like him not being able to like cast a spell and fight is really big deal. But he's still gonna go to try to neutralize the dwarf by hitting you with this like weird malleable like blade whip thing.
Awesome.
Your what defense?
I am at great right now.
So he is fours up. Cool.
Okay.
That die is gone for
I
ever.
heard that one go far.
Yep,
Yeah, it's
fucking
gone.
gone forever. 3 successes.
Okay.
That'll be 4 damages.
Okay. My runes flare up and absorb 2 of those damages.
And there were no 6s, so you're fine. Were there 6s, it would have been worse.
Okay. I
4 damage
take-
is still a lot.
I take 2 damages.
Yeah, dude's no joke. So you're learning that. You're learning. This is good data. Next up then would be Fjormar.
Did the rest of the acolytes do anything?
Oh shit, you're right. The rest of the acolytes. There are 3 left.
They
One
Go
of them
through 'em
is
quick.
near
Should
Fjormar.
use my second medal.
Fjormar, what's your
Great.
defense?
Great.
Not Grim.
Oh no, he's at Fjormar, not.
Oh,
not,
Fjormar, sorry.
Yeah. My defense is good.
Nothing. Planks off your gut plate. 2 of them try to like pile on the elf. What's your defense?
Average.
So they were already in this zone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
One
Continue.
was far away by the buffet table, so it just attacked the ogre.
Cool.
and
No issues then.
Planked off.
By all means, continue.
And then 2 were in like specifically with you
Yep.
with you guys.
If anybody else tries to enter our zone who's not already here, they have to make a test. That's
Yeah,
it.
the one by the buffet table.
Right. He can't come in and help.
Yeah, the ones piling in from the back room. Right.
And if any leave.
You said you're good or average?
I'm average. Average.
Average. Okay. 1 hit with 1 damage
Ooh.
as it goes to stab you with this little like ceremonial knife.
And that goes into toughness first, correct?
Yeah, and if you got armor, it would negate.
Like you're wearing light armor as well.
Light armor. Yeah.
So you'll subtract 1 off, so you wouldn't take any if they only did 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so you take nothing. The other one, 2 6s. Nothing special happens on a 6, but it is 2 damage.
There we go.
So it's a flesh wound.
Mhm. The best kind of wound.
So that's it for them, and then Fjormar, you go. And I'm gonna grab this D6 that's scattered across the room. Got it.
This guy attacked me, but he's so worthless that I don't even care. And history question: has Skig cast this spell before in our party?
It's probably safe to say yes. Like
Okay.
I feel like it's probably a go-to spell.
Then I smile as I rush off
Did I
out of that
mischaracterize
zone
Skig?
and into combat.
Yeah, you would know what happens. You can pass through the barrier of
Yeah,
the God
yeah.
King's faith without issue.
And so he's pleased.
Ball of faith.
Are there like attacks of opportunity in this game where
There
I'm
are
like
not.
Only if you have
out of this zone?
opportunist. Only if you have the feat.
Oh, okay.
Talent. Sorry.
All right. No, that's good. It means the guy doesn't hit me when I run off. I'm charging. And
I
let's
love
see.
you're the purest Skaven of Sigmar, by the way. This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
So there's 1 or 2 cultists in the table zone.
2 in the table zone.
Two in
Or
the
no,
table
one,
zone?
1 in the table zone, 2 in the main
Normal
guys.
zone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. In which case, yeah, I feel like me and the dwarf going after the main guy is like usually the right play, just because witch elf can
Yeah.
spin in a circle and like kill everyone.
Yeah, so I dubbed this combination Pound and Town. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to stab the main guy.
Cool.
I'm using a charge, so my defense is lowered, and I get
add
extra
die.
die.
Yeah.
My melee is good. So what do I need?
5s.
His defense is -1 because he's stunned. Is that?
Oh, you're right. Nope,
Taken
you're
into
forced
account?
now. You're forced. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So I have 7 dice.
Fucking team tactics, yo.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to use my bird, but like it's possible it's not in the room with me, so I just won't.
Maybe it hung out outside.
I need 4s then.
Yay.
All right. Two of these 3s are now 4s. So I have 5 successes, 2 of which are 6s, so I ignore 2 armor.
Okay, so this is a fun interaction. So you ignore 2 armor on 2 of the damage.
No, it's just the damage ignores.
The damage itself just ignores 2 of his armor. This pile of damage. And the damage is 5 plus 2 for the thing, so 7.
He wicked explodes. Like, but
Yep.
like the thing is because you ignored his armor, you didn't kill 2 acolytes.
Oh,
Amazing.
big brain plays. Big brain plays.
Yeah. So like you just impale this dude and like you're holding him aloft, and like the 2 acolytes who are more than willing to die for this cause are just like standing there like you like hand palms towards the sun, and then there's just not exploded, and they're like standing around like, oh shit.
So I get to use this sentence, I guess. I kill the main bad guy with my mercy.
So there are 3 acolytes left in this top of the initiative again, or rather,
no.
rolling.
New roll, new initiative, yep.
Oh, we're just gonna end up killing him anyway. Well, I tried.
I was.
Oh,
They should have. I thought they'd run away. Darn.
I mean, it's initiative. It's
It's unclear what they'll do, but we're still
they don't have
initiative,
the
one of those
bonus
things.
initiative anymore
Cool.
on account of the inspiring bad guy, so they're going at 3s.
Okay, got it. They're on 3. Feargrim,
2 and
I'm on a 9.
Lanissa,
I'm also on a 9.
Fjormar.
I'm on a 6.
Okay. Feargrim.
Can I like kneecap them?
Yes, you can attack the legs if that's your question.
Is there subdual damage in this game?
That's what I want to know. Like, or do I just punch them? Is that how I?
I think there is some sort
You're
of lethal
fairly convinced from the terror in their eyes they want no part of this now that the leader man is dead.
Kneel. That's what I say.
They just like drop down.
Okay.
Time
Yeah.
up. I said that to Witch Elf.
What did you say to the witch elf?
Time up.
You hear some like clamoring and some like clatter in the back room.
Mm-hmm.
You're fairly certain you heard a door open and slam too.
Okay. Should we persist with initiative,
It's
or are we just out of combat?
I think you're out of combat at this point, unless you
Okay.
really want to murder the defenseless people or give chase.
If
sorry,
they
go ahead.
kneel, no, if they kneel, like I look askance at you, Lanissa, when he says tie him up. I'm looking very hard at you.
I would like to split my attacks.
You don't even need to roll. You just execute them.
And then I'd like to use my medal
Okay.
and leave the last one alive.
Oh.
Pursue out the back.
Okay. So you stab one in the top of its head, and then you
Kill
just
2.
bolt out the room.
I killed 2. There's 3 left. Kill 2. Got 2 hands.
Oh yeah.
I'm out of
there's one by
hands,
the table.
but I got
There's one by
legs.
the table.
I'm gonna-
Yeah. There's one by the table. So you make eye contact with the one at the table, kill both its friends, and then run out the back door. Basically. Okay.
Yes. Hoping that it's
so
the same one.
so
I
movement is still like
intimidated
a
earlier.
pool of movement. You have a move and an action. So like you get to move, and then that metal can become further movement.
Yeah,
I-
you can move one zone, so you could move from this to the back room and see what's going
Yeah.
on without actually spinning a metal.
Okay. I'll move to the back and can
Yeah,
I
so
see
you,
if there
you
more than
move
one
to the
door?
back just in time to see like a chair having been thrown through a window and like somebody fleeing out a door. And there's about 4 of them that looks like are in various states of absconding. Like there's easily one that's like in this room, so you could like metal and like stab it, I guess.
Are they all running and fleeing?
Yeah, they're trying to get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm sorry, they're trying to get the heck out of here.
Good bad.
Yeah, I'll stab one more.
Okay.
He's got 6 dice.
Yeah, you don't even roll. It's dead.
Dead. Oh wait.
Just-
But let me see if I
Yeah.
get my metal back.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a 3. Sorry. Okay.
All right, Kraith.
Kraith strikes again.
Wait, so if you keep rolling 6s, you can become like a train that's kind of teleports a few times for movement?
Yeah.
She can. Because she's great.
Yeah, blame the pain train of Kraith.
Well, great. Great's great.
So like, I'm going to actually kind of assume that you chase down all of them save for one.
Oh,
because-
I'm real good at tracking.
Oh god. Um, so like you and the ogre, I guess if you combine efforts, you're going to be able to corner one in an alley and make sure that the rest die.
Well,
You have
I'm not
one
gonna.
in the room
There's
with
still one living, right?
yeah. There's one in the room with the dwarf and the skaven.
I will
and then
not let anybody kill that one.
Okay, yeah. So you just like you're the shepherd book right now trying to defend this man.
I'm disgusted by what the witch elf has just done.
Yeah, I'm
You're not
okay
used
with
to it
it.
by now?
They were heretics, but I want to make sure this guy stays
The
alive.
witch elf just like screaming and cheering at the moon, like with the blood dripping down from both daggers, and like she is like this is the moment where like remember how I was like poignant about how like the blood didn't land on her when she's like no, she is drenched in blood now. This is revelry.
Fiormore just points and I just run. And, ah!
Yeah. You corner one in an alleyway and you can like let it live or not, like because Fjormir is like caught this one, type thing. He's tracked the one that like because they all scatter and you could meddle your way to catch, the other scattered bits, and like he's got the one that he catches. You just like yank it in the alleyway.
I've had a lot of fun, so I mean, I'll defer to Fiormar.
He's
would like to do.
What do you do?
Oh, okay.
No. What do you do?
Me?
Smart enough.
Okay.
No.
me?
Sorry.
Yeah, Fjormar. What do you do?
On the question of whether or not to kill this one, smart enough to run right away, smart enough to know something. So bring him back alive. Got to ask him some questions.
Okay.
So I'll rope him over the shoulder and just start walking back.
Okay. You've got two survivors. The one by the table, and then like the one that Fjormar has essentially got like lassoed. You all collect. Initiative has officially dropped. You gathered back in the warehouse. No one seemed to have taken notice to the chaos just yet.
The
Like,
slaughter.
The slaughter and the like people screaming from a warehouse. It is it is the pirate city, right?
Mhm.
Like, so it's probably
Yes.
there's probably some pretty rambunctious nights.
Yep.
Is this the kind of human encounter that we leave right away? I ask.
No, I think we need to stay and determine exactly what heresy is going on here.
Yes, I agree.
I poke at
Do
one of
we
the ones
alert
who's sitting down.
authorities about heretics?
They'll probably be around in a moment.
I'll let you do the talking.
I poke at one of them.
You've got the buffet one is completely, I don't want to say catatonic, but just in this is a broken person.
Okay.
They're like crying, then they're like just shaking. They have
the blood splatter across their face.
like blood like right across like the face. They're like, I just served the snacks.
Mm-hmm. Sure, that'll happen.
I mean, they were good.
Yeah, I sit down with him. Okay, like I kneel down. So like, because I assume he's down in like a little husk, right?
Oh, they're on their knees with like their hands bound behind their back. I think is pretty apt.
Okay, so I kneel down in front of him and I take the holy symbol of Sigmar. I take the twin-tailed comet in one hand, and or in one paw. It lights up, and then I put my other hand against his head, and I'm going to use I'm going to use revitalize. It's mechanical functions that removes conditions, right? But what I'm trying to do is use it because the idea is it's revitalizing their spirit, their soul, right? That's what's going on.
We're trying to go RP with this. Go ahead and
Correct.
roll it. In this case, do roll. I know you said that you don't roll.
Sure.
For this
Make
one,
a devotion check.
Yeah, do a devotion check in this case.
No problem. That would be 4 6s.
They suddenly they just like stop mid like sniveling, and they seem to have some sort of like peace, and just like they look upon your face and almost look beyond you, and they seem at peace.
Mm-hmm. The God King has brought you peace. You must now tell us what evil, what heresy has happened here.
They spoke good. And they had food, and nothing bad at first. We just moved a bunch of these boxes, and one box looks like any other box. So you don't really question what's in them,
I understand. You were
But-
led astray. But that is all right. Now is the time when you can be returned to peace. You can come back. You can be welcomed into the light of the God King. It is okay. He does not ever forsake his children. Look at me. I am but a humble rat, and yet he has welcomed me into his arms.
What do I feel like I've done something bad. His eyes are welling with tears.
You have, lad.
Many of us have done bad things, but the God King still forgives. He knows that he has done bad things in his past, as have many of his followers. The beauty of the God King is that you can always reforge yourself. Just as his mighty Stormcast do. So can we.
Nice.
But we reforge our souls. And that's what you must do now. What was in the strange vial?
He called it. It was called. He pauses to remember. The Rift Animus?
I
says
look
it with
over
a
to make sure.
question.
I make sure that Fjorgrim heard this.
Yeah, I'm bewildered.
Okay. Is there anything else that you feel you must share with us? Where are others like him? Was there a central place you went?
We didn't all. None of us took it. He says. We weren't allowed to yet.
Something that had to be earned.
He nods.
What would happen when people would take it?
We would ascend. It sounded like a really good thing, but it wasn't specific because conmen tend to speak in vague platitudes that resonate with you.
Oh yeah, because you've seen clearly now. Of course,
Yeah.
I get it.
Did you see where the people who would take it would go?
No, but I know where the last shipment was going, he says.
Share with us.
There was an island. And he gives you, the best coordinates he would have.
Sure, like a destination we could roughly follow out in the sea outside.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Yeah.
If only we knew a Corsair.
No.
I saw Tom
I know,
leaning
Captain.
forward to make the same comment.
But unfortunately, that ship had sailed.
It should be noted the whole time the other one is just like, shut up! Shut the fuck up! Like the whole time.
Sure.
I'll get to you in a minute.
I look at this one and I say, you have unburdened yourself. Now begins the difficult part. You must begin your own reforging of your soul. Go. Leave.
Imagine you cut the
Yeah.
bindings and
Mhm.
he rushes off into the night, and we get a flash forward into the future 100 years. He is a Stormcast Eternal.
Excellent.
He's done it. He's gone all the way.
Yeah.
Full reforging.
As to this one, who's still there.
Just sweating, just like.
Meanwhile, while this is all going on, I'm just pacing back and forth, covered in blood, eyes rolled back, just waiting to be told to kill something. and Skig is like peacefully like talking these people down while I'm just back and forth like, when can I kill?
We'll get to you.
This is a very clear good cop, bad cop moment.
So you're
Very clear.
you're
Like,
like
just generally pacing around the room, not near them, not trying to intimidate.
So
just
I'm going to give
being
you an
me.
intimidation, actually, because this is intimidating. This very act is.
Yeah, you're not trying to intimidate, but it's happening.
You're
Yeah.
stalking around like Darth Maul. Yeah, it's intimidating.
He's like so pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's again. This is actually gonna be threes. Um,
3 successes.
Fjormar and Fiergrim, both of you can roll awarenesses.
Sure.
This will be fours, DN fours.
I had 3 successes.
You're not like middle of the action, so you're casing and
Is this awareness or natural awareness? And what's the difference?
this is an active awareness because you're like glancing about the room and you're
3 successes.
Okay.
making sure that people aren't like about to ambush you or like reinforcements aren't coming. Yeah,
Yep.
this is an act.
2 successes.
Both will get there, though one will get a specific detail on top. So both of you find your gaze drawn to like the sort of shattered casing that held this ichor. That ichor now doesn't seem as apt a description once you saw it like actually hit the air and become sort of almost effervescent. But the actual like housing of it, you're drawn to like the sort of like shattered bits of glass and the housing. So you're both drawn to that. You probably both go over to like check it out even to get a closer look.
Yeah.
And Fiergrim, with your one higher success, you notice that gold tip isn't just a gold tip; it is an gold tip. It's trace amounts, but it is indistinguishable to you.
Snap.
Gotta melt that sucker down.
Yep.
Slam it in my body.
You naturally like witness this, Fjormar. You see him snap the tip off, and again, it's like standard like sort of silver steel type, and then just that very bit at the end was that Urgold, right where the point, exactly the point, the edge, that sharpness, that is the Urgold part. It's this tiny fragment.
I notice he does this. I'm not sure if I make the connection.
You knew it was gold,
good
but
part.
you don't know it's Urgold. Like,
Yeah.
It's a gold tip. All right, back to the pacing, about to lose her mind, Lanessa, and the relatively even-keeled Skig.
The enlightened Skig.
Yeah.
I say this one should have to go to the authorities. Someone will need to explain what happened here.
I'm not arguing. I'm not taking actions. I'm just kind of pacing back and forth. So I'm not making any decision on that.
That's what I say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We will need to inform them with a witness that there is heresy afoot within Anvilgard. This organization should be outlawed.
We'll cut to the next morning. This organization should be outlawed, and you're like holding this human in front of the like bored bounty office man. Mm-hmm. He's just like, that's the 7th complaint this morning, he says. And
is there a special slot for them?
Not the
with the live guy.
Yeah. There's no special slot for the live guy, but we will call it there.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I was hoping for 11 complaints.
You guys, actually, I gave you a bonus XP for deciding to turn this one in rather than murder or like even fully interrogate, because you already like got pretty much all you need, and you've just been like, you go like that bridge too far where you're just torturing someone for the sake of torture. Like, I thought there was some good restraint there.
I don't even know how to respond to that, but thank you.
Yeah, with a witch elf in the party, we showed restraint.
One is alive.
Also, like, let's be honest,
One is
this is
alive.
the Mortal Realms, okay? Like, this is a pretty brutal setting.
It's true.
This isn't sort of doesn't have the constrictions and constraints and thoughts of sort of lawful good and stuff like that. Like, life matters. And, my character is very much concerned with, like, saving human life. But if you're a evil cultist heretic who's against Sigmar, like, nah, you done made your choice. You're on the wrong side of history, son.
I mean, a few unknowing Tzeentch cultists is what started the entire Age of Chaos.
Right.
So we probably take that stuff,
Seriously.
hyper seriously, maybe. Like, it does, like, if you're coming into it from D&D, you're like, oh my god, you're slaughtering these people, I guess. But it's a brutal world, the Mortal Realms.
Hercules, like, use Greek myth as a good litmus test.
Right,
You got to keep
sure.
in mind the heroes of Greek myth, like, killed their fucking. Sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. Killed their parents all the time and stuff.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
it's the moral moments will be obvious, I think.
Yes. No, absolutely. Yeah.
But I will assess the XP. I've got a couple like bonus things here from like some awesome RP and some like cool moments. I'll get those to you in our chat. I'm not gonna bog the stream down with it, but I had a blast.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, like let me just say this was amazing. Like I loved this. I loved everybody's character. I love the way this group works together. I am excited as all get out for this. I hope people enjoyed this and liked this and thought this was fun to watch. Hey people, if you're still watching or if you're watching this at the end, hit like so more people find out about Soulbound and see what it's like to play it, because I want more people to know about this game. It's really wonderful what they put together here. And as I said at the beginning, don't forget to tune in next week. The link's down below for Meph's Twitch. So assuming Meph can get his computer restored, we'll be on.
Yeah.
We'll be on Meph's Twitch next week. He'll have control again. You know, worst case, if it takes you 2 weeks, well, I'll host as long as we want.
We'll do it here again. Yeah. I necromancied this 15-year-old Sony Vaio back to life. So
Reforging is complete.
yeah, reforging is complete.
Reforged the laptop.
This isn't even that bad. I had to work a little bit harder because a lot of my notes were like on my computer for the. What did I say? I said I've got a lot of the like what and the who and like I don't have the where.
Specific names probably.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that crap. Yeah, all that was on my computer. So, yeah.
No, great job, Meph. I want to say that as well.
Yeah.
Like this was very fun, man. You ran a great game. So for a game one, this was solid. I do enjoy that goblins jumped us and then they were on the wrong side of the ambush.
I like the anticlimax of that. Like I
Sure.
love the misdirection and the rewinding back through it, and I already had the intent of like somebody smashing somebody's head for the bounty and just seeing how you'd solve that problem as a little just to see the party dynamic. It's such a minor silly problem to have, but
Sure.
then you still see how the party thinks through it.
Yeah.
I'm just gathering information. You're gathering information in the first adventure. I want to see how people react to stimulus. You know?
Sure.
Yeah, and people are settling into their characters and figuring out how to play them. Like, how dumb is the ogre? You know, like how bloodthirsty is the witch elf? Like,
Yeah.
these things are
the
gonna
witch
take a
elf
little
is-
bit.
The witch elf, I think, is like it's like this like perfect ascent of bloodthirsty, like basic, like this isn't worth my blood.
She
loss.
ramped up
Yeah,
throughout the
he ramps up into the blood loss. It's great.
I try to play it to the point of like once it starts, I don't want to stop, but at some point I have to be like, okay, well, you guys have probably taught me some restraint, at least to the point of like, hey, we'll kill you if you kill this one. And I'm like, okay.
Just good old standard blood frenzy.
Yeah,
You know,
just-
5 rounds, ramping it up.
And
Yeah.
let me just say, it's good we've got Tom here with his character as like our ultra straight man.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
he's
actually
the
a really
straight man.
important role.
Yeah.
Like Tom gets to mean mug everybody. You're like the you're B. Arthur in our Golden Girls here, right? Like that's a really important. Like it's not a joke. That's a really important role because somebody has to be the straight man, and that's what the dwarf gives the balance against. Of like surrounded by this nonsense, he's like an anchor.
Yeah, because if there was no straight man, there'd be no anchor, and everybody would just be wacky all the time, and it'd be kind of a mess.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You sort of need somebody to be realistic, you know.
Yeah.
Well, his story.
And he's the
Make
tank, so
this work.
both
Yeah.
in mechanics, he's the tank, and then
He's
in,
the anchor, both
the
mechanic.
tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his story makes it's so great because he's like, what have I gotten myself into? Like, I was in a real soul binding once, and like,
Sure.
like
I
that-
had real friends.
Yeah. If he, it's kind of a good thing he doesn't have any memories from his old Soulbound, because he would be like, man, remember when I was with responsible adult adventurers that weren't wacky races with crazy mental disorders?
Well, and you guys will see in my background, like I pass off to Mep, like there are degrees in which you all are dark shadows, or amalgamations of the other memories.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
cool.
Oh, that's
very
neat.
cool.
Okay.
It was a very cool angle. That's where I thought like you were going to be the emotional anchor. I'm back to thinking you will be the emotional anchor after all the wanton murder from the Canite.
Well,
I feel like I'm just dropping off like hints, like
Yeah.
hey, let's go eat near the docks. No,
Yeah, sure. No, it's great.
that's all you get.
Yep.
Like I think I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm doing more of that. Like I want
No,
you guys
that
to
was-
pry
that
my
was a
story
great
out
one.
of me.
No,
great.
no, it's good. It's good. No, I like this. This was a great session. This was a great first session. It was. There's so much to build on. The relationships are the party dynamics are like culminating. This was awesome. I did some improv for some NPCs. I'm very pleased with.
Mhm.
Yeah, felt really good.
I like Eeyore. I feel bad for him. I understand his position intimately.
Yeah. Yeah. What if?
He's like the
Yeah,
guy
like-
from Papers, Please. Right? Like that's who he is.
Yeah. Oh. I know, like when you brought him up and described him, I'm sitting there like, do I have anything in my inventory I can give him just to make him smile? Like,
No.
I got acid and poison. No, I don't think it's gonna work.
I'm
Thank
going
you for
to
his
Teddy
name.
bears in here.
I'm going to develop. I'm going to develop Officer Posehn there a little bit. Oh man, yeah. I had a blast, everybody. Let's do this next week.
I agree.
Yeah, thanks
Tune
for
in
the,
next
thanks
week.
for the adventure.
The continued
Yeah.
adventures.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I'm gonna put up the wrong screen accidentally. That's for a future. That's for a future hobby cheating video. Shh. Okay. Now I'm gonna actually stop the stream. And thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next week on Meth Channel. Bye bye.